Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. I'm Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most. And joining me are my friends, Matt, Vincent, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. For some reason, you threw me off. I looked over and you were just, it was a look that I
like that it was Vincent, not
Alana.
You know what? For some reason, this doesn't register as like strange.
It's not really that different, yeah.
It's the other thing is though, this particular costume here, I'll put this on the camera so that people can see it in a little bit closer detail. It looks way funnier on camera because I don't see the eyes or the nose.
It looks really funny in person. Yeah, I think it's just your angle.
Keep sliding around
Happy
my time.
Arbor Day.
Yeah, we're celebrating Arbor
Yeah, I
Day, a
just see
continuation of
squirrel head.
yesterday. There's a squirrel.
Trees.
Trees and squirrels.
And then tomorrow, more trees.
Also true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we are going to play D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, Mosaic Team 5 happened last night. There was an encounter. My enemies got scrunched into a corner, and that was very unfortunate. But to see that when it re-airs, you can check us out on YouTube at Alberon RPG. It re-airs on noon on Sunday, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just had the Alina tarot card finished, and we just got it in the mail, and it shipped to us, and it's pretty cool. I didn't even see it. I forgot to look at everything.
It's so good.
Look at it.
But you can see that on Instagram at Alberon RPG. The next one up is going to be Ori, and then Valis after that, and then so on. And then eventually you'll see these as banners behind, and that's going to be really cool. But those are all
to Dibidu.
Shout out to Sophie Bischoff, who is doing all of the art for us. Thank you, Sophie Bischoff. You could find her at Dibidoop, spelled not at all how it sounds.
Dibbadoep.
Yeah, there you go. You got it.
Nice.
I used to think it was Dibadoa.
Well, because every time
so
Sophie would make something awesome, I'd be like, I should remember how to at this person.
for like a solid 3 or 4 months. That
It was
our-
like, is it Dibidope? Is it Dibidoep? It's Dibidoop.
yeah.
Dibidoop.
She told us it was Dibidoop.
D-I-B-B-A.
Because she heard us saying it. She was like, it's not that. Thank you, Sophie. We are going to be having a couple of one-shots that are going to be coming up, and you'll see those popping up when we have the sessions that we are not going to be having, like in the last week of July, first week of August, I believe. We are going to be off for the summer. But there's some very interesting things coming down the road, including things that are actually relatively relevant to this corner, actually.
The squirrel?
That corner.
Yeah, this corner, these two.
I thought you meant
Mine, I don't know what.
the fact that
I mean,
they're.
it's a
I
little
thought
creature.
you were
It's a
talking
little
about
woodland
the.
creature, and I feel like a lot of the characters are woodland creatures. Anyway, you will find out what this means eventually here at Alberon RPG on Twitch. And then finally, that's all the announcements that we have for this evening. And it's time for this week's session of Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest.
Yes.
Wandering Hearts, last we played, you found yourselves in a standoff with 4 powerful mages who had begun to fan out to destroy something that lay ahead. Valis and Alina reacted fastest, and it was a good thing. They closed ranks on the path, followed by a nervous Minka, who stood their ground nonetheless as a squire, and said that they would not stand by while innocents were hurt. After a very tense moment, they agreed to call off the attack and to talk further away from the station. You followed them out to the plains and the fields west of the mountain, and there shared a meal and learned more about this group that called themselves the Meritorious Hand. They told you of their purpose, to break the Magiocracy's ruling class to allow a meritocracy to rise in its place. Their goal was to disrupt the supply line from the Crimson Mage to their counterpart in the Tower of Amber Wings. You couldn't agree on a correct way, perhaps, to go about this, but you did agree to part ways with the hand traveling west and you all resting before beginning your ascent of the mountain in the morning. You rested, and in doing so, Alina, on the first watch, did note in the distance a very large bird, describing it as the largest bird that you ever saw, and then double it again, and then double that again, and then multiply that by 10 times. You, in the morning, climbed the mountain along a path maintained by the pink-clad Fellowship of the Follower of the Pink Zephyr. You slowly figured out that this path was really less designed to create a pleasurable route to the top and more designed to nickel and dime you across the entire path for as much money as possible from the patronage that frequent the place. But with a little bit of help from Levitate and other abilities, you made your way around several obstacles that seemed to come at the most inopportune times, almost always around these same statues, but eventually made your way to the top. Once there, you found that the station itself was occupied by a number of dwarves who worked there. You talked to a few people and learned that yet again they were trying to charge for a variety of different services, but not handling the individual working behind there the best. We're beginning to have some of those services removed from the counter. That does bring us, however, to this evening, where all of you are now waiting around South Sentinel Station at the top of this mountain, and up above you and to the north you can see the beetle train is now approaching as it crests the top of the rail track and begins to descend towards all of you. Give me just one moment.
This is the track. This is the station ahead from where we had first encountered the Meritorious Hand.
No, it's
So-
like we were at the bottom of like the mountain or whatever, and we climbed up to the top.
So now
and
we're at the okay. So we're at the
like
station proper.
Yeah,
with
we
the
went through the
platform.
turnstiles,
Yeah.
and now we're at the
Right.
at the
Because we went
whatchamacallit, where the
through
train-
went through all the MBTA workers trying to scalp us.
Exactly, exactly.
That's exactly what it was. I mean, really not far off.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at the moment, all of you are standing outside, I believe, of the office of South Sentinel Station. The small window still has Erlunda Godhammer, who I believe you spoke to, selling a variety of different things to people as they kind of begin to stand up and move towards the tracks as the train approaches. Is there anything that you all want to do before the train arrives?
Can we, if we haven't already gotten Ori caught up on the conversation that happened while he and Finn were all farting around, Alina would do that now. One
Sure.
exposition later.
Farting around with their aunt.
So yeah. So what? Can I get like a little bit of context of where? What did Finn and I talk about? Like
So-
what?
Very little. It was mostly just because you weren't here.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, mostly going around, it would have been just like talking about the group and asking some questions. But
All right.
at this point, Finn is also really
Close.
like kind of stuck with you guys, at least at Darkbriar.
Yeah. All right.
Is there a vendor that sells a piece of paper here? I would like to buy a piece of paper.
One single piece of paper.
So, again, the only vendor up here is this woman named Erlunda Godhammer. The only paper that you can see at their little shop is there are 4 books left that are kind of lined up there. They had taken one away, but there's no. This is the top of a mountain. There's not like a lot of shops.
She's the one who was scalping y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't do a good job on my rolls.
she was just selling us books.
Seat cushions, woven blankets, books,
Is this person like
commemorative tokens.
memorable in the same sense, like has a sort of reputation as what's his face, the fucking asshole in the bog man?
Make a history check. It's great that I knew what that meant.
I don't remember Bogman's name, but I do
looking back
know
to
that you
see-
always describe him as very unpleasant.
The fucking asshole in the bog man.
Do I get my thing?
Yes.
Hey,
Yes, there you go.
Oh, 19.
Every time that you say that,
dirty
I start to
20.
be like, oh my God. But then I'm like, oh, wait. Yeah. Dirty 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
sometimes he does.
With a dirty 20, the Godhammer clan is one of the Dynasty of Thunder. They are the group that hold and control the secrets behind these beetles and the growth and development of them.
Okay. That tracks with what I have.
Yeah, I mean, they as an individual, Arlunda is a relatively minor player within the Godhammer clan.
That's why she's working the turnstile.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not going to see the elder of the clan. And I would say with that check, you do know that the Godhammers in particular, that name is not just like a fun name. That is a name because this is a very devoutly religious group. They have an order that they founded that is called, give me 1 second here.
The Order of the Godhammer.
No. It is the Order of the Dawnfather's Stone. And the Order of the Dawnfather's Stone is one that is dedicated to an individual called Moradin, who is the chief deity of the Dwarvish Pantheon. And I would say, I mean, you're from the Magiocracy. You know that they have a number of mountains within these mines, both in the one that you were on, and then across the way to North Sentinel Station, that mountain as well, which you would know is called Mount Crockbaugh. The next station is called Geralon Mine Station, and you know that that is on another mountain called Mount Slingshell, and that is a place that has a very large Godhammer mine for steel and copper primarily.
Is that like their home base, as it were, or like their?
No. So the for the Godhammers, they have quite a few places. So there is a they have several outposts, and there's
So they
an
don't
outpost
necessarily
on,
have a coal, as it were, in the same way as like.
with that check. I mean, you don't really know a whole lot about the Dwarvish coals. That's over in Dominion, the Great Coals, anyways. Now, somebody last week did notice, but I don't think they shared it with you, that the mountain itself, I think it was Minka actually, when Minka communed with nature, they noticed that the spell did not penetrate into the mountain, and that indicated that there was a good amount of development within. Not on the order of magnitude as Kol Taram or Kol Stoneflow, but certainly on the size or order of magnitude of like a small or a large town, small city.
Okay.
But that's not something that's like publicly acknowledged, and it could also just be a tremendous system of mines.
Right.
It could be a spa, it could be a Chuck E. Cheese, not a sponsor. It could be many things.
Okay.
Chuck E. Cheese. Did you tell the group that you're looking for a piece of paper?
No, but then I realized I have paper.
I was gonna say.
And with that realization, there is a thunderous and all of a sudden, as the wind rushes down around you, the beetles are about 90 feet closer, and there is a second as there is a very similar kind of thunderstep motion as they use this similar spell to what you do to reverse their momentum and stop almost all at once, and there is a rush of wind. Could everybody make a strength saving throw, please?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Why?
Because the beetle train.
Oh
Is
no.
anyone within 10 feet of me?
Oops, I didn't.
Yeah, probably everybody.
Everyone gets +3.
Hey.
Good.
That doesn't help.
Oh no.
Hang on.
There is a
find my
crash, and as the beetles almost stand still, and there is creaks of metal as they strain, the wind rushes by, and people are leveled. Some of the people who are a little bit less familiar with this place are just knocked over. Things are knocked down. You can see others a rush of people in pink who run around to like pick different things up to help like pick things up and ostensibly return it, but likely for a price. For all of you, did anybody roll under a 10?
Oh.
Minka,
I
you
need it
alone
hard.
under a 10
Include
are
even with the +3.
fired.
I rolled a 1.
It's really hard for me not to imagine Minka as a squirrel, just in the wind. But you are bowled over, all the gauzy fabric just billowing and catching like a sail. And if it wasn't for Valis's kind of aura, nobody would have even reached out to try to grab you and stop you. But with the crowd around you, one of the guards grabs you. Like people secure you, and so you don't lose yourself.
I just fell down the whole mountain and Minka.
There's groans and kind of like mumbles. People pick themselves back up. The doors across several of these cars begin to open. People begin to leave. And if you want, you can board this train.
Which one are we going on? Does it matter?
It does matter.
It does.
You should probably look for the shittiest car.
I do remember the front cars are the fancy cars, right? And then it gets, well, they're all pretty fancy, but the one coin piece cars are further back, if if I remember correctly. And
Which
then there's
did
the
we-
cargo carts.
Which did we pay for? I don't remember what we paid for.
probably
for
the
general
cheaper
admission.
one.
Passenger.
Yeah,
Passenger.
we paid for
We
the
paid
cheaper
So
one.
As regular
the very
people.
first
We have,
car
like,
that
no
you
money
can
left.
kind of see
never
is called the
financially
Dynasty
recover
car.
this.
It's the one in the front.
That's what
This, it is shaped metal, and you can see there is dwarvish embellishments and designs and things that really point to this being a high value piece. It's been like hand worked. There are very intricate details to like this dwarvish figurehead on this train. And then going backwards from that, it gets a little bit less ornate. The car behind that, still made out of a very nice metal, a little bit less ornate. There's no statues, but there is still this kind of like dwarvish patterning. And then after that, all the cars look the same.
the
And they
Arcana
alternate. The second one is the Arcana class car. The first is the Dynasty car.
Then
And then going
passenger
back, they alternate cargo, passenger, cargo, passenger. Then there is the needs car, which some of you, I think, learned is where the bathrooms and stuff are.
Prestidigitabasins. Goddamn.
Behind that is the team car where the actual crew is. And then there is the quote unquote caboose. And that is where all the beetles who are not driving the train from behind are resting.
Oh,
So we want to go to one of the passenger cars.
Okay.
So I would head to one of the passenger cars. Like,
You do, and as you get towards the back of this place and people are kind of getting off and getting on, the cars that are really available to you right now are the fourth and the sixth car. You could also board the needs car and, like, I guess just linger. But
just hang out by the bathroom.
yeah, I mean, you know,
No,
Like, in
I
the
would
bathroom.
prefer not to do that.
I just like to present you with all your options.
I appreciate it.
Are we
but
getting any particular vibes from either of them?
Make an insight check.
Like, does one of them, like, you
Looking
know,
for
when
the
you
best
go on the
vibe.
One of
train.
them full
Well,
of
no.
candy, for
There's
example.
like, you go on the train and
Like
there's
a
an
rover
empty car, and
bus.
it's like,
Right.
oh, why is there an empty car
Yeah.
when there's a
And it
full
turns out
train car before?
Someone didn't make it to the Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insight. Hang on, I
I
gotta
rolled a
look 'cause
19 for
mine-
insight to figure out which car we should go in.
Okay.
I think mine's like a 23 or something.
Okay.
I'm looking it up on my sheet because it's slow tonight.
Not to worry.
23. Yeah, I was right.
I forgot that you're using your phone. That's why the sheet is slow. Okay, with the 23, you look at these two cars, and there is a for you, Minka, you notice this difference as well. There is one car where there is only one individual, and this is a very, very large human, and you can already smell coming from out of this, and they're sitting here and you wouldn't really know how the trains work, but it seems like they're probably going back at least one stop. And so you would be sharing for at least one stop the whole car with this individual. There is a billowing aroma of onions that just kind of rolls from outside of this. He is not holding any onions. He's wearing like a tunic. He's wearing shorts. He doesn't even have a bag with him. And like locking eyes, he smiles and all three of his teeth very yellow. But the other car, and I would say, Uri, you pick this up, it empties out primarily, and there are 2 or 3 people that get in there. The only thing that really marks, or comes of note, I guess, is that one of these individuals, a halfling with like noticeably large feet, you can't help but feel like you have seen them somewhere before, or maybe recognize them. But their eyes pass over you kind of just across the whole crowd before they get in the train and disappear in.
I'm gonna like follow towards that car.
Okay.
I'm like, that guy looks familiar, and kind of like think about that and see if I can get a better look to like try and recognize this person.
So he gets into the 6th car. Is that
So-
where you are all boarding?
Yeah,
Is
I'll
that
head
the
to
onion
6th
car?
It is not the onion car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Car 4 is the onion car. Gee, I wonder why it was only one guy in it.
So a passenger car down this way.
The other
Even
one.
though there was one guy, it was very full.
Yeah. Okay.
Just follow along.
Okay. You all board
Lena's
this
cranky
train.
because of how much money she got taken for getting here.
It was a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah. Like all of it.
Like 3 gold.
No, I had like 50 gold.
Because it's only
was left
one
over
goal
from
to
the
stop,
last.
but
Right, and
Did they
I'm
you
charge
to
the
the
us
only
to
one,
get into the
mountain,
station?
and I'm the only one
charge
who
you
never
that
gets
mountain
any
on the
money
station.
because all my money
then
gets
tickets, yeah.
stolen by some people.
I don't know who does that.
Who does
Wild.
that?
So you
But
board
of
this
course,
train.
You know, Cheshire was.
Laughter
And
off
as
in the
you
air.
do, the floors of this car are all steel. The train itself, roughly 15 feet across, a little bit wider than that in some places. It tapers where the wheels are to provide like a stronger base across a shorter I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Shorter
I guess.
span.
Yeah. There are wheels, and it gets a little narrower there.
Nice.
The cars connect through the middle very much as any train car might. The doors here seem to have some kind of a little like sigil across the steel plate that separates them that may operate as a button or something like that. I would say, or you know that this is a way to either lock or unlock this, because otherwise they just slide back and forth the whole time. And the only people that are in this car are this halfling with very, very large feet and a elderly elf, which, I mean, even by elf standards, looks a little on the older side. Their eyes are already shut. It's back against the glass windows, which are pretty uncommon around here. And you can sit wherever you want. There's probably about 12 seats that are open.
Are they facing each other in like a...
They're on opposite sides, but they're not directly facing each other.
I want to get a good view to like inconspicuously try to recognize this half.
I gotcha.
Are they all
Or-
like facing the front then? Like a...
That's what I was
Yeah, so they're facing kind of forward, and they're not like by any means sitting there and observing everything. People are on the train and just trying to like get where they're going, which I guess the commonality between regular trains and fantasy trains. But yeah, you can go and sit. You can go and sit in the seat like opposite them if you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mink is gonna run towards a window seat and try to find a window seat to sit in.
No problem.
How many so there's like 2 people in this car?
Correct.
And so how many is it
6
crowded
rows?
now that we're here, or is it still like pretty spacious?
There's still, you guys are occupying about half the train at this point. And so there are 2 entire rows in the middle that are empty. And then there are most of the seats in the front and the back. Ori is up in the front with this individual. There is this older elf in the back. And then you can sit wherever you want.
Left window seat.
Left window seat. All right,
Where's
you lap up
Finn?
with Ori.
Where's Finn?
Finn,
I feel like Finn would sit right behind me.
no.
No. Never mind.
Finn is going to sit by the front door.
It is in
So
the needs car.
right behind Minka.
Okay.
Alina will just grab any window seat that is still open.
Alina, you are on the other side of Finn. Valis, you are on the other side of Alina. Ori, you are next to Valis, and then opposite you on the very far side of that row is that halfling.
Like,
Minka, you are opposite the
Where's
older.
Billy sitting?
I was gonna say, is there space for Billy?
Yeah, there's a lot of space for Billy.
Billy sits down in a space.
Okay, you sit down right next to Alina, Billy.
wait, you didn't sit
next
down
to
in
who?
a space. You just
Alina.
lost in
yay!
time.
I imagine that Alina was like patting the seat next to her, and Billy's just like, thunk.
Yeah, no problem. So you are on the train, and you can see there are people up and down the tracks boarding it. Is there anything that you're doing before you take off?
Probably doing the whole like pressing your face against the window sort of deal.
Make a perception check.
Natural 20
Hey.
for a total of 29.
The face is smushed real close.
You are looking, and a couple of things. First of all, you're still at the station, so there's not a ton that you're seeing, but we'll carry that on as you leave the station as well. You do note in the reflection of this window that almost diagonal and across, and it's like one of these things where because it's not exactly flat panes of glass, these are still handmade, and so like the reflection is not quite flat. And in one of the warp sections, you can see diagonal across one part of this halfling a little bit better than even Ori can, almost right next to him. And it's because it sharpens in the way that like a funhouse mirror might make writing very sharp even from a great distance. On top, this individual seems to be reading a newsletter of some kind.
Okay.
And it says Bard on the beat. And they seem to be reading the news. With a natural 20, they like fold it up and kind of put it in their lap. And when they fold it, you can see the like a little drawn picture of the author. It's the person that is sitting right next to Ori. The same person is a reporter.
Oh.
But aside from that, until you leave the station, you just see people getting on and kind of moving things off the train as well.
Billy's staring grumpily at anyone who attempts to sit near-ish her.
So you guys are taking the very first train. It's 8:15 in the morning. This is it. There's not a whole lot of people that are joining you on this first trek.
Excellent.
Will likely change once you get to the next station, though.
I will still stare at them.
I
I
brace
mean,
myself.
how many stations forward are we going? Like how long?
I believe it was.
2.
North
Feel free to
Sentinel,
answer, Joe. I just...
North Sentinel Station, then Geralon Station, and then after that is Darkbriar Station.
Okay.
I take the equivalent of the dodge action of riding a train.
Okay.
If the brakes are a vindication of how it's gonna lift off, so
Okay.
to speak.
Fair enough.
It's like I should really
In the seats, you grab onto the front, you like lock your elbows, you lock your knees.
I don't think it's going to be that bad.
You're trying to remember, like for explosions, open mouth, closed mouth, but you get yourself as ready as you can.
Alice has flight anxiety.
I've heard it's relatively comfortable, actually, on the inside at least.
Okay. I relax a little bit.
I'm gonna like
Reaction.
passively
Reaction,
keep
relax.
glancing over to be like, I know that thing. What's up with those feet? This person's so familiar.
What is
I'm sorry. Did you say those feet look familiar? Oh no.
On a couple of occasions, you're like glancing over, and you can see
need to know
after
way
he's
more
put
about
this
Ori.
paper down, he's just kind of looking over, and every now and then he's definitely noticing you, and you recognize Ori. Like he catches you looking at him, and you look away exactly. But then the second that you look back is the exact second that he looks back, and you get caught twice right in a row, and it feels a little awkward.
I go,
Feet and manipulative women.
morning.
He just kind of nods at you, and then looks over and just goes, "Is there something I could help you with?"
You scared?
No.
I think he just has a list.
You look terribly familiar. And, do I know you from
It's
somewhere?
not really important. I'm just here for work, so it's if you don't mind. And he turns and kind of just away from you. Looks out the window.
Here for work.
So
I mean,
there is a creak,
so are we.
and the train begins to move.
Air Marshal.
And there is no crack or thunder yet, Valis, and so very relieved. But the train begins to slowly shift off, and you do hear the only real sound aside from the wheels and the wind that goes by is there is a relatively soft as these wings begin to push air behind you from the beetles themselves, and you begin to move along the track. Give me 1 second.
I've never ridden it before.
I don't know why that really got me.
Should we roll for how impressed we are?
Reaction to be impressed.
Reaction.
She rolled a 1. Ori is disappointed. It's not as cool as he thought.
Okay.
I thought there was gonna be confetti.
So you begin to pull off and rise up these tracks, and almost at once your momentum does begin to slow a little bit, but slowly, you do begin to move like a roller coaster that reaches the apex. It's slow going, this beginning part. But you can see just opposite you the track that the beetles had come down. You are now making the opposite way, and before too long, you will reach the top. And in doing so, the whole train kind of evens out. And this is the most jolting part. It's like pretty smooth for a while. It's pretty smooth. And then Valis, you can kind of see the train in front of you and then land on the track. And then your train goes up. And when it lands and evens out, you do get about 3 inches of air and then right back on the seat. The halfling jumps up as well. You can see the elf does as well, but doesn't even really seem to wake up. They kind of and shift their head around, but these are people who have taken this train a couple of different times. For the rest of you, it is a little bit jolting as it kind of evens out, but when it does and you look out, Minka, for you especially with the natural 20, you can see everything. Below you as you begin to check away. Below you is the Sentinel forest just towering up above you. There are towering pine trees that create almost problems of scale because when you look down, it almost looks like there's just a regular forest right beneath your feet. After about 20 minutes, though, when you reach the clearings, kind of similar to the ones that you had met with the meritorious hand around, you can really see the full-sized fir trees are almost like ferns at the feet of these trees, and that really gives you a sense of scale. These are towering. Some of them even about 20 or so feet beneath the tracks. You can see elements of like crystallized ice that is in the boughs there, but there are almost certainly huge animals that walk amongst them. With a natural 20 Minka, about 50 minutes into this trek, you can see just probably about 25, 30 feet off the ground, several prongs of antlers that just move through, and you don't see what they're attached to. They just disappear, taking almost the top of a tree, maybe 30 feet of wood down with it. I would say almost nobody else. This is like way off in the distance, and Minka plastered up against the window, all the like billowy garments, not really allowing a lot of other room around there. I would say Finn, like for a while, tries to look out, but then just gives up. Alina, you're able to see out, but you don't really see much beyond just these towering trees and the mist around them. What really catches your eye about an hour in, Minka, is there is a section where a bunch of these trees have been almost like layered amongst the canopy, pulled out or broken away, these massive trees. And you realize as things are kind of like passing by, it's not just wood and it's not just leaves. There are, at first, you think like whole big strips of cloth that are stuck into these branches, but you recognize a little bit tattered. This is not a sail from a ship. This is a single feather. And this is probably some kind of a landing site for a very large bird.
Rock nest.
That would track. Not a nest, but a temporary kind of dwelling as they search for one.
The big bird that Alina saw.
Yeah.
It's a rock.
Aside from that, to the left, off the other side, if you just run over and up on the other
Oh,
side.
definitely. She's a menace.
Oh, yeah. You can see there is a sweeping, incredible view of the Sleeping Summit and its own surrounding jungles. And even from here, you can see it's very different, much smaller, and much warmer. This is like rainforest more than the kind of towering, deciduous forest that you have beneath you. You can also see... What was that?
A deciduous rainforest.
You can also see there is a probably a lot more rain around there. The sky is a little bit darker, and while it's not actively raining, it is probably a much different environment. Minka, with a natural 20 and with your knowledge and general interest in rocks, you can see all kinds of signs that this is a dormant volcano. This is absolutely a dormant volcano, and not super dormant, because when you really look, there are... And they've been grown over, and so it's probably been within 100, 200 years or so. But there are large plateaus of rocks that are very out of place and probably are the result of a large explosion when this erupted last. And a part of you almost feels like that could explain the rock that you saw, were it not simply rock, a rock. But maybe that particular stone came from a similar process, albeit a magical one.
Okay.
You see all of this, and is there anything that you are all doing on the train? I would say after a little bit, the halfling that you had kind of inadvertently caused to close off to you, probably about halfway through, after you see Minka run to the other side and like jolt the car over, they would turn around and just say, "Look, I'm very sorry. It's just I'm a little bit nervous going into Darkbriar. And the explosions and everything. And your group seems to be much more adventurous."
You're heading to Darkbriar.
I think
Yes.
while you're having this incredibly serious conversation, you hear me go, "Oh, a feather," and then like run across and be like,
Good guess.
"Oh, is that where that stupid rock came from?" And she gets like very serious and she's contemplating.
I look over and Minka's just like,
Just very focused on the wrong things.
What brings you to Darkbriar? Given the current circumstances there, I've heard explosions and mines collapsing. Yeah.
Precisely. I thought you knew who I was because you were staring.
Well, you did look familiar, but I didn't quite recognize you, which was why I asked if I knew you from somewhere. But was I supposed to know you?
He narrows his eyes for a second and he says, Oh, no, actually, it's quite refreshing. Most people know who I am, and they bother me for all sorts of things. They seem to think I know all of the gossip, but that's not really true. I'm Gil Hothand, and he holds out his hand, which is just a normal halfling-sized hand.
Ori, nice to meet you.
And he shakes his hand. Huh?
Gil Hot Hand?
Yeah.
Now that he's said his name, do I recognize the name?
Yeah, I mean, the Bard on the Beat is an individual who goes around and reports on news. They're pretty well known. There's not a lot of, like, newspapers. There's no print, and so these are written and then magically copied. It's, I mean, they're not famous in the way that, like, Vitas Adder or, like, somebody like that might be famous, but you know who they are.
Oh, Gil Hothand. Yeah, the Bard on the Beat, right?
Yes, that's me.
Right, I have heard of you actually. So you're heading up there for work, writing a piece, presumably.
On the explosions, yes.
Right. Well, actually, we're headed up there to investigate as well. What's going on there?
Oh, would you mind if I write about this? And he reaches out and pulls out a nice piece of parchment. What is your name?
My name is Ori.
You can see Alina visibly is like,
And,
Alice is not paying apt
what-
attention and
what-
smiling at Ori.
What is your group doing up here?
Well, we are.
What is your group?
We're just a traveling band of mercenaries.
No. That won't do.
adventurers.
You can't establish a brand like that.
Uh,
People will want something to be excited about.
Ori feels the weight of everyone staring at him except Minka.
In the uncomfortable silence here. Oh, I think I saw a bird.
we are.
You don't want to pick the wrong name now. Something like the Finger Gang. People get the wrong idea about what sort of things you do.
look,
We are.
Ori, stop bothering the nice man.
It's really okay.
He
Don't
asked
worry
me.
about it.
We're the Wandering Hearts, traveling group of courageous.
Are
and-
you open to suggestions?
Yes, absolutely.
Just-
I didn't come up with it, for the record.
I've found that no matter what you try to title people, we'll always find a way to make fun of it.
It feels a bit.
The Wandering Farts is very easy.
That's what I said when I first heard it.
Just think about maybe workshopping it a bit. But for now,
Not really up to me.
Ori and Company.
As you could also just. Yeah.
Where are you coming from?
Well, we came from all over the place, gathered. Circumstances brought us together over on the east coast of Lake Tanaka.
At this, Alina's gonna walk over and be like,
You can see he's nodding and just saying, "You seem very nervous. Please don't be."
Oh no! It's just my first time. I'm very excited about being on the Beetle train. It's my first time of. I actually grew up somewhere relatively close. Just never got a chance, so this is kind of exciting for me.
Oh, you're a local. Lovely. Where are you from?
at this point, Alina has
a bit
wandered
south
over
of here.
and been like, "You're a
From
reporter,"
Rosa. Yes.
and she's gonna kind of elbow Ori out of the way and be like, "Have you heard of Sir Nunos?"
I'm actually speaking to this nice young man.
No. I got a story
This
for
is
you. Believe
my
me. And
compatriot, Alina, one of the Wandering Farts.
Ah, Alina.
I think at this point, Minka's heard the Wandering Hearts enough times for it to finally process
There's something.
that something's happening.
Related happening.
Yeah, she finally looks over and was like,
He nods and he says, "Well, I'll have some questions for you too. Just one moment. And I'm sorry, you said you were from Rosehip.
Sure.
That doesn't sound like it's true.
Rosehip is
Rosehip is a town is very far south.
yeah, like southern, like closer to the Tower of Seafoam, right?
Yeah.
Not quite that south, but close. It's a very small area. You probably haven't heard of it.
Well, I mean, I am from the Magiocracy of the Rising Storm, but it seems like you're a bit skittish about sharing information, and I understand. I'm a reporter, so it's quite okay. But what are you coming to do? There are many adventuring parties who have gone to the mines and they haven't come back.
Alina has slowly put her hoof down on Ori's foot and is riding it.
Well, actually have a few relatives up in the area, so we heard about certain things going on there.
Oh,
And
did you get the food at the station?
yes, just a
Picks
bit,
up her hoof now that he's like on the right track.
a bit. Yeah.
To be careful with that. The Godhammer's not good at food.
First time I didn't realize, and I was just so excited. But yeah, so we're just going to check on some of our relatives. One of our compatriots also similarly grew up near the area. And so that's really what primarily brings us up there. There's, sights and sounds to encounter on the way, perhaps like the train.
So what is your take on what's causing all of this then? And Alina, please, if you would like to chip in now.
Listen, all I want to do is spread the good word of Sir Nunos, which your publication
We are
is
actually an
perfect.
agnostic publication.
But that's okay. But you report on the sights and sounds, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
you've met me.
Now you will meet Sentinel.
He nods and says, I know of Sir Nunos. I don't need to learn more about him.
Well, it's not so much about Sir Nunos himself, but about what he can do for you.
Oh, you're from the revelry of the Thorn.
That's right.
You're
now,
very perceptive.
I must warn you, I've met people from your order before, and I don't intend to get blackout drunk this early in the morning.
Why not?
it can wait, right? It
Is
can
that
wait.
what you all do? Is it-
Work hard, play hard, Ori. Anyway, so listen. And Hannah doesn't have a prepared speech, but Alina certainly does, and she launches into it now.
Sure. Make a persuasion check.
Gladly.
I think Ori is probably peppering in some like subtle insults and mockery along the way.
18.
18. With an 18, you launch into this thing about Sir Nunos and how great he is. And I mean, you do your best, and he politely looks engaged, but you lose him pretty quickly. And for what it's worth, there are times where you're like, and Sir Nunos, and like, yes, it's the Wild Hunt, and he does know quite a bit about Sir Nunos. He's not bluffing on that front, but a part of it is certainly to try to like get you off of the subject. But he listens for a little bit, and every now and then just tries to say, but so what does the revelry have to do up with these explosions? It's not the wilds, it's mines.
Well, surely you know that in
Not
my
many
order,
people
when
actually
one
know.
turns 21, we get sent out into the world for 3 years to spread the good word of Sir Nunos. And how am I meant to do that if I don't travel
Is
far
that
and
how
wide?
you?
I didn't realize you were that young. You look,
Choose
I
your
have
words.
the leads call. And he stands up, closes his little like book. He's about to set it down, and then looking at you and realizing that you've just talked a whole lot about Sir Nunos, holds it very close to him, and then takes it with him to the bathroom. But you are
Nice
left
talking to
alone.
you.
Yes,
How's Sir Nunos?
Is the elf still like?
asleep. And
Well,
every now and
a
then,
trance.
will like hit, yeah, very much trancing. And you can see like every now and then we'll kind of bump their head on the thing and just like in it to get to where they're going.
Ori, you
Yeah.
should be more proud of who you are.
But also, we're trying to keep a low profile. Also, I'm sorry about your foot.
Do you need anything? Are you gonna be okay? I have a good berry.
I could use a drink, but I don't think they serve on the cars here. Right. I don't know how much we should tell this guy, but he, being a reporter of some repute, may have information relevant to us and our endeavors. So keep that in mind when he
Okay.
comes back and I try to ply him with this alcohol.
Hey,
Okay.
we've got a whole thing that makes lots of alcohol. I paid for that.
Oh, then
Alina,
I have 8 copper left.
when will I turn
Oh,
blue again?
Stupid train.
Let me one more.
Let's see. I cast Seeming this morning, and it's been what, a couple of hours?
You have it's 8 hours, correct?
Yeah.
You have 2 hours left.
2 hours left.
Which means you will get there with an hour to spare on seeming.
Okay.
I'm
That.
sleeping.
Okay. I just had a thought of we're like trying to be low profile, and there's like a reporter.
Right, that's
And
fine.
if I suddenly became blue out of nowhere, that might be weird.
Don't worry. We'll have an hour to spare.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't follow us.
Okay.
Half an hour goes by, an entire hour goes by, and he doesn't come back.
Has he left and gone to a different car?
He
Who
went
has
to
a
the
passive
onion car.
of 18 or above. Or you see on one occasion, and then again, and actually I guess you would as well, Billy, you see in the window of the connector kind of hopping up the halfling and then popping down when they see Elena. And they come back maybe 20 minutes later, and they whoop, again down, and they wait until there is only 20 minutes left, and you can see the station coming before they come back, and they just, it's the station food. It really, dreadful.
I'm gonna
Anyways.
look at him and be like,
Can I help you?
Would you like a good
the
day?
station food, yeah, that's very difficult. I know.
Very difficult. Almost as difficult. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Right.
We're almost
So, actually, I had a few questions for you. Have you heard anything about what's going on in Dockbriar?
there. Yes, that's why I'm going.
Right. I mean, anything of more substantive quality than the fact that there are explosions and mine collapses?
Well, my sources have said things, but I'm going to verify them. I can't go around spreading gossip.
Not gossip, just as we are both traveling in the same direction and heading towards potential danger, it may behoove both of us to share any potential information of said danger
Make a
prior
persuasion
to
check.
our arrival.
You can see he's weighing this in his head.
Nice. 17 on the die. Let's see if I put any of my skills in charisma.
We're learning right now. We just started playing D&D.
Wait, that's what we're playing?
Yeah.
19.
Oh, this isn't paranoia.
Oh shit, I am in the wrong character sheet.
With a 19, they look at you for a second and they say, all right, well, I guess it couldn't hurt to share, and you're all going into the mines, so perhaps you could get some information from me as well.
Oh yeah,
We could help each other.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, well, I'll be staying in Darkbriar. Will you all be there?
Sorry.
I'll be at the Spitting Stone Inn.
Speeding Stone Inn?
Yes, the Spitting Stone Inn. It's a 3-story building. It's taller than most in the city, and you should be able to find it pretty easily. Mind the fountain, of course. But if you do come up with any news, if you could bring it to me, I would be very grateful.
Of course. And what sort of information are you looking for? Just what is the cause of the collapses and the general unrest amongst the mines?
For everybody else who's not been part of this conversation, you suddenly see, you've just kind of seen like this part and up of the halfling, but suddenly like shoulder over, and Alina, you see like he looks out, he doesn't really look at you, he's kind of like trying to avoid you, but like looks and is checking to see if there's anybody like listening in, and he looks over at you and he just goes, it's very crowded here, and maybe we should wait until Darkbriar and we can talk there.
Right. Yeah. Well, we will be heading in that direction. You said you're staying at the Spitting Stone Inn. I think we are heading somewhere around the area, not quite in Darkbriar first, but I'm sure we will make our way there. And when we get off the train, perhaps we can stop for a drink before we part ways.
Oh, splendid. If we're going to Darkbriar both, then we could stop at the next station. There's a splendid bar there, the Better Twin. It's one of my favorites.
I'll ask my group if they would be amenable to that. I think that sounds lovely.
Okay, we'll see you there then.
All right.
And he starts gathering his stuff, and people are like kind of, you can see even the old elf is like starting to get up, and you are pulling into this station.
Next stop, Lansdowne,
Exactly.
next stop.
Are we at
How
North
long?
Sentinel Station, or are we at...
So
Are we at it?
Doors will open.
North
on the
Sentinel
right.
Station is where you're pulling into. This is across this valley, nestled into the peak of the mountain known as Crockpaw. You can see the station itself is a single building that is built into the sort of mountainside that is the top of this mountain. There is much more like jungle here. It isn't just bare rock and grass, and so there are elements of trees and things like that. And there are wildflowers that also grow across here because there's much more sun that hits this peak. You can also see there is a number of people who are waiting, and here the folks seem to be a little bit more prepared. Everybody is either sitting on their belongings or otherwise braced into these steel benches that have been placed along the track proper. But you can pull in. The only thing that you really see on the way in.
Old dude goes flying.
You go past, and off to the right, you would go past what looks like the beginnings of a trail, or perhaps because you can see that there is like mining equipment along it, the beginnings of the way to the mines that are on this hill.
Talon mode us.
Oh.
We gotta get
Derailment.
back to balance.
You gotta get back to balance. But you pull into North Sentinel Station, the beetles to a stop, and there is nobody who is blowed over on this track. As you are able to kind of see the doors open and you can get out, you can see a little bit more around you. Off opposite the building, there is a ballista that has been placed up and on a platform that seems to be very much, you would imagine, Minka, having seen this rock's nest, sort of in a deterrent to that sort of thing. There is a tremendous number of different boxes and things that have been piled up on the platform. There's only like about a dozen or so people here, but they have all brought a good number of belongings. And so you would imagine that you will have some time to grab a drink and maybe talk with this individual if you want. Are you all getting off the train?
My new friend Gil would like to join us for a drink while we wait for the next train to leave.
Sorry, my brain fizzed out. How long? How long do we have until the next?
Until the train
Until the
leaves again.
train departs.
I would say, like, as you're kind of getting off and you can hear people talking, you overhear that it's probably going to be about an hour layover.
An hour, thank you.
Okay.
Next train departs in 1 hour till the next
And that
train
means that
departs.
half an hour into that, you will have Minka suddenly become
Boarding starts
Yeah.
15 minutes prior to the train departure. Please have tickets ready as you enter the train. Thank you.
Alina will kind of grab both Minka and Valis by the elven, just kind of hold them for a second to let Gil and Ori go forward.
Sure.
And she's gonna be like, "Do you guys want me to cast it again? Otherwise, it's gonna be weird."
Well, we paid for the tickets. Do we have tickets? Like, is there like proof that we bought tickets?
No.
So, how
So
do
they
we get
know
back
us by
on?
face.
You
that
hope.
we have paid, huh?
You haven't asked, so
Oh my god, we're gonna get gouged.
So, is the
Do you remember being offered a commemorative token?
Yeah.
Said it was commemorative.
Yeah, but it also would have been proof, huh?
Commemorative of the fact that you got on the train.
Should we stay on the train?
I'm gonna stay on the train.
Yeah, Billy is not moving.
Oh,
We'll just
hold
stay.
on.
We'll just stay.
Okay.
No drinks? Alright, well, I will go and have a drink with my new friend Gil.
Yep.
And I'll be back in an hour. Alright, well, see you all in an hour.
Okay.
Does anyone have a hat?
I gave you a hat with seaming. Do you want a different hat?
No, I mean like if
A real head.
yeah. Then again, just being blue, I just didn't want that one person to see us because we would have had to pay more. That was the only reason.
I think we should go explain to that person we paid for the train that,
I don't think that's gonna work. Bye.
that we just illusioned ourselves, and we can just say that we were trying to avoid someone we knew from Self Sentinel.
I'm just gonna recast the spell. That sound like every time we try to explain ourselves, it never goes well, right? Okay, so you want a different hat this
We were
time?
being sneaky
No,
for
it's okay.
reasons.
It was just,
Now we've decided to tell you those reasons, but not before.
Okay, if you want to cast the spell again, that also works.
I just think it'll make everything easier.
okay.
Okay. So, do you want a different hat, or are you good?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I guess we'll just stay here though. I don't know how to get back on the train.
Yeah, me neither.
And for what it's worth, you are alone on this train. That old elf gets off, Gil gets off, even Ori gets off. And so really, it is just the Wandering Hearts, sans Ori, sans Cheshire, who is very much not aboard this train. And then
We didn't check to make sure Cheshire.
I just assumed that Cheshire was on the train with us because, like,
Because we paid for her.
We
I
did
would
pay
say,
for her.
I would say,
Joe, we paid for her.
I would say Billy alone would probably keeping a little bit more tabs on Cheshire, and very specifically having mentioned that they were looking to make sure that they were following,
Ori watch.
would see that Cheshire actually boarded the Arcana class car.
Oh, that makes sense. Also,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And so, no problem. You can make your way out, and we'll follow Ori.
Honestly, she probably just apparates in from different places.
It's always my impression too.
Yeah, she just like steps through a door and is here magically.
It happens.
Yeah, I have theories.
She's Archfey.
Yeah.
So, Ori, you make your way across the kind of grass. You go through the people and their belongings, and you go up the steps and into this very large stone structure. And it looks like a stone house. There are like these big pillars that hold up the ceiling. You can see like dwarvish elements that show a hammer and a sun behind it. And you can see do you read dwarvish?
I think so.
Wait, what?
Actually, no. I read Elven, Sylvan, and I think Draconic.
There is
Same
some
languages
dwarvish.
that all of us speak.
There is some dwarvish that is written on the station as well.
Didn't take many languages. in
But
school.
you make your way into this very dark space, and immediately you recognize this building is just protruding from the mountain. The entire, most of the structure is within the mountain proper. Because when you get in this tiny little roof, it is the roof, and then way higher is the ceiling further in. And it like expands out into very much what is like a subway station almost. And off to the left, you can see there is a closed-in section of this station that makes its own kind of internal structure. And there is a sign in Common, in Dwarvish, and in several other languages that reads The Better Twin. And you would actually see inside this structure, because there's no glass that separates it from the outside, there is a bar of solid granite. And sitting there is Gil, and they are being served by a large turtle that is behind the bar.
I would walk up, put a friendly arm over the shoulder, and be like, "Right, so
Oh,
how about a few drinks on me?"
if you're buying, of course,
Oh,
I'll
of course.
take some of the Rosehip Vineyards Rosefield Reserve.
Bartender, 2 of the Rosefield Reserve, please.
You can see this turtle kind of looks over, they squint at you with these dark blue eyes, and they just kind of go, "Let's see the gold first.
How much?
Just for you.
2. For me and my friend Gil here.
5 gold pieces for the bottle."
5 for them.
There you are, and a 6th for your services. Thank you.
Much obliged. He takes it and tucks it away behind, and he passes to you a beautiful green.
This is the first. Okay. Sorry, I just have to make a point. This is the first time that I actually have money because I found fucking 30 gold off of some dead corpse, and no one else took it for the first time, and I didn't say anything until now.
15% of your income gone.
You put it like that, goddamn.
Yeah, that's rough. But the bartender is very grateful for that, and you have this beautiful green glass bottle of what is a almost like farmhouse style wine, or not wine, sorry, beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I might need to get
This is a tremendously expensive beer for what it's worth.
right. But I'm trying to ply information out of this guy and get him kind of drunk so that he's looser lipped.
He twists the wire away and kind of pops out the cork. He pours a little bit for both of you, does Gil, and you can enjoy this drink. It is fantastic. I mean, it is a sour beer just by its very nature, but as the sourness fades away and it kind of like it makes your mouth water almost right at the front. There is a deep, almost orange or lemony flavor that really rolls off the back of your tongue, and it's very pleasant, if a little dry.
It's made from rosehip.
No, Rosehip is a town.
Ah.
Is the town
Idiot.
that, wait, isn't that the town that I said I
You
was
don't know this place that I
Isn't
invented?
the town he asked I was from?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Better every time. Yeah.
I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I sort of thought you might be keeping better company.
Why would you think that?
Well, he kind of nods at your very bundled up staff. The size of that is pretty distinct.
What could you possibly mean, Gil?
Well, I didn't want to say anything because clearly you're trying very poorly to keep a low profile, but Salacor staffs don't just grow on trees, although I suppose they do.
You are quite perceptive, aren't you?
But why is it that you're being incorporated with such common folks?
Well, it is.
I mean, surely you could do whatever it is that you're going to the mines with your magic much easier.
Well, it's a bit of a long story, that. But, circumstances have necessitated that I travel discreetly, as I'm sure that you can appreciate, one such as yourself, trying to ascertain information that folks may or may not be as willing to part with as you would want them to.
Make a persuasion check.
I love the more nervous Ori gets, the more words he just kind of throws in.
There were moments in campaign 1, especially because Miles was very good at negotiation roleplay, where there were entire, very, very important negotiations that happened entirely in roleplay, no persuasion checks needed. And then
I'd be like, and fuck you, and fuck you, and especially fuck you.
so it's nice to see the shoes reversed a little bit in this scenario. But yeah.
I think it was like a 9.
9. Okay.
I'm gonna pour him another glass as I'm saying this because I rolled a 9.
You can see he was debating closing this book that he was writing in, but he keeps it open. And he says, well, of course, as a reporter, I do need to share this news, but I'll do my best to be as discreet as I can. But you must surely know that people are being lost in these mines.
Lost, you say?
Yes. Well, I imagine they're dying.
From the collapses?
Well, probably not. They usually go in after to try to find out the source or rescue people, and then they don't come back.
And what have you heard the source to be?
Oh, all sorts of things. Everything from...
People suspect and assume.
Yes, quite. And everybody has their own opinions, myself included, but... He looks around, and you could see, it's just this turtle, maybe 3 feet away from you, and it's just kind of, staring because there's nobody else in the bar. It's probably about 10:30 in the morning at this point. But he looks back at the turtle and just says, well, I just would prefer to keep my opinions to myself. I wouldn't want people hearing about them when they're not quite confirmed, and that's why I'm going to Darkbriar.
Bartender, could we get another bottle of the rosehip, please? Whenever you have it.
Of course. And he goes over and very quickly grabs this. You pitch him a whole gold piece. That's a lot. And so he brings it. For him, it's pretty slow. He's a turtle, but he promptly brings it over.
And if you have any food in the back, it's a bit early for me to be drinking.
Wasn't going to say nothing, but yeah. Until he starts shifting away. And he
Try to
returns.
Try to get some time with them, not right over us to get him to.
So you see, he goes over to this stone counter that's only about 10 feet away. The other side of the bar is not far, but far enough where he's not actively hearing. And he's kind of mumbling a little bit. And you can see he reaches down and he pulls out what looks like a bag of very tiny wooden marbles almost.
Yum.
And he just puts them in a bowl on top of this counter. And he goes over and he just kind of says, how do you like yours, spicy or not?
Spicy, please. Gil
reaches
spicy,
in and
not
just starts
spicy?
sprinkling spice over these little wooden balls, and
Spicy or not
looks
spicy?
over and just
Gil?
kind of nods to you. And he just goes, "It's not really the kind of food I like. It gets in my teeth." But
What is it?
the turtle goes over and just goes, "Don't worry, you'll love it." And he waves his hands over it, and you watch as he sort of spreads his fingers apart, and there is a glow between each one, almost like webs that spread across, and there is a pulse of heat, and it's just a bowl of popcorn.
Oh, nice.
Covered in spices. And he
Oh, I
brings
did
it
like
over
it
to
spicy. Good. All right, nice. Please help yourself, Gil.
you. Like I said, it gets in my teeth.
More for me then. Help yourself to the beer then.
That I will. And he takes the drink and pours himself another one.
So these rumors, let's say.
I mean, well, hang on. Let me see how drunk he's getting here. He's a halfling. Well, rumors aren't always true, you know.
Right, of course, rumors
He's-
aren't always true.
There's two of them.
I think it's more than just rumors, though. Of certain things, you know who's not going into those mines anymore?
Who?
The Amber Sworn.
You don't say.
Yeah, and I think they know that it's too dangerous to go in there.
But aren't they the ones who are protecting those who are pursuing whatever is in the mines?
Initially, they were the ones that weren't, yes. But the reason that they're calling for adventurers is because the Amber Sworn aren't going. And there's more of them than ever, which makes it very strange.
That is true. So what do you think is down there that would keep the Amber Sworn from wanting to go down, but wanting to send others down for them?
Again, this is really, it's just...
Purely speculation between friends, of course.
I just don't want people to hear this and get the wrong idea.
I am not a reporter, my friend.
There are creatures that live beneath these mountains. And they're old.
Oh,
And they serve as dark beings. Have you heard of gibbets?
I have heard of gibbets, actually.
I think they might be up to something. Rising, maybe a dragon? I heard there was dragons beneath the ground, you know.
I had heard. Have you heard of a dragon to the northeast of here? Actually, I heard that there was
There's a whole army up there, yeah. Everybody's heard about that.
Maybe that's connected to these gibbets that may or may not be, according to rumor, in.
I think you're thinking of kobolds, friend.
That's what I said. Yes.
Oh. Now I'm a bit confused, but yeah, I mean, it could be, I guess. I don't really know because it's beneath the ground. I don't think the army's up above the ground, eh?
Right,
But I mean, you know, again, it's just a rumor.
It's
It
just
could also
rumors.
be. I've heard about these things called beholders. Have you heard about these?
the big stocky eye things. Yeah.
Well, it's really the big one in the middle that you gotta be concerned about.
I've never seen one in person, but I've seen pictures.
People say maybe one of those because they're able to just disintegrate the stone. But nobody's seen one for many years.
Right.
It could be a lot of things, you know.
It could be a lot of things, but it is only going to be one
It
or
could be
two.
the hill people.
The hill people. Like the
There's
hill
people that live up in
dwarves.
the hills to the north, and they'll come in and they'll trade every now and then, but they're always up to no good. They're smugglers, I think. I think they work with the guilds and they bring things across the ocean.
But your prevailing theory, in your
Gibbets.
kobolds.
Gibbets is different than kobolds. I don't really understand it all, but I think it's kind of like you know, darrows and you know, rock gnomes. They're different, but they look kind of the same, really.
I don't. So, who told you about these gibbets? Because that seems like something I have, as you seem to be more than aware than I would like you to, that there is some vested interest in what is happening in Darkbriar. Where have you found your info? I understand as a reporter you may not want to reveal your sources, giving...
Well, I can't give you my sources,
your-
of course, but I
yes,
could tell you that I
journalistic
heard it in a
integrity.
bar in Salheim, and it was just some fellow or another saying something about it, but who knows if it's really true? It's the only thing that really makes sense
Well, I have
so far.
Right. I have heard a few things about just the Ambersworn in general, though, and it is strange that
What have you heard about them?
It's just it's odd that there is a more active presence throughout the Magiocracy other than around the Tower of the Amber Wing. Generally speaking, they are not as prevalent in the other areas.
It's because there's all kinds of things happening around the Magiocracy that shouldn't be.
You don't think that is part and parcel for what is happening in the mines? You think it's
could be.
gibbets?
I think it could be gibbets, but if it's coming from the mines, that's where they need to be. But like I said, the Ambersworn aren't even going in. There's something going on, and I think they're involved somehow. Even if it's just being afraid. It's not right being afraid if you're a guard.
Right. You said something about dark creatures down there. Not the gibbets, though? Something else?
Yeah, there's all kinds of things down there.
Right. Of course, there's things everywhere. Dangers lurk around every corner.
Yeah.
Do you want to top you off there?
Oh, I really shouldn't, but okay. And he's getting pretty plastered at this point. And you're to the point where he turns and he really just goes, you know something? I really think that you should just tell people who you are and just use the resources that you have available to you.
Right.
Your truth.
Just put it all out there
Right. It's
on the table. Just flop it down.
Please.
What are you talking about?
Kill for president.
just maybe someday.
Look. I know I look young, but I'm not.
Right.
You know, I'm about 120 years old, and I'll tell you what I've learned in this life.
Right.
Don't worry about what other people are thinking. Just worry about
the bodily harm. that
I've
I'm
got
worried
to go to the
about.
bathroom. He gets up. He almost falls, and then he kind of stumbles over, and then into a door.
Did he
Door
leave his
shuts.
journal?
Yes.
I'm gonna snag the journal and look through it while he's drunkenly peeing.
You grab it. You can see the turtle looks at you. They raise not an eyebrow, but a little bit of skin. This
I'm
little
gonna
eyebrow like fold.
Seeing him do that, I'm just gonna like put another gold coin on the table and like pick up the book and just be like,
He just slides the gold coin and just walks away. So this book, it is a like leather-bound element of parchment, and you pick this up and you begin to like leaf through this, no problem. But we'll cut back to the train for a second. Is there anything that all of you are doing? This is probably about like 30 minutes that have gone by now. Ori is in this bar, he's talking, and he hasn't come back.
So I saw a giant deer, I think. It was amongst the trees, and I saw the horns at least. And I saw where I think that big bird went. It was in the middle of the Sentinel forest.
The horns, though? You saw
Yeah.
giant deer horns?
Yeah, like over the trees. It
Did
was
they go
wild.
back or did they go forward?
They went. I didn't see the head, so I can't really say exactly which
Does
direction.
this mean anything to Alina? Like big deer horns stomping through a forest?
Very cool.
Make a nature check.
8. Hard to say.
Damn, that's crazy. I mean, you know, there are all kinds of like you've been part of hunts that involve large creatures, and so that's not outside of the realm of possibility. What Mink is talking about when they talk about a stag being above the trees, Mink is talking about something that's like 90 feet tall.
Oh.
That's wild, and you've never heard of anything.
Wow.
Like that.
See it again? Can you tell me?
you think maybe
Ask whether they go forward or back because one of them is stag, which is the Alina animal, and the other is elk, which is the Palestine. Anyway,
Animal facts.
And it's
Wow.
neither.
Huh?
It's neither.
Straight up.
Stag beetle.
No, they're much more rounded along the top, and they spread out in pretty even ways. And
Diplodocus.
Moose.
Yeah, is it like moose?
that's much closer to what it looked like.
Okay.
Giant moose
I
giraffe.
think you just keep going like this. This is going to explain it further, but it just doesn't.
Just keep going.
You see Minka make the sign for moose, and then elk, and then like all of them, and you can't tell which one she really means. But
Maybe we could try being productive while Ori's off drinking.
What'd you have in mind?
Well, check for peeps.
Make a perception check.
I will also check for peeps.
Make a perception check.
Not that die. This one.
Oh, I forgot I'm perceptive. 19!
22.
Okay.
I think.
You gaze around, and Billy, you don't really see very much. And there's definitely nobody in the train with you. Both of you, very, very. There was 2 other people, and you watch them both leave. And you look around. There's no Cheshire hiding anywhere under the seats. And you look around outside the windows. Nobody's immediately up there. But Alina, there is something that's changed. As you're looking out and kind of making sure that there's nobody immediately observing, your eyes do catch this ballista that Minka had previously seen, and you can see that there are now dwarves that are up and on that station, and they're kind of like looking at the sky. And they're definitely paying much closer attention than they were previously. And that is something that you definitely notice.
I go. Oh, wait, so the ballista. Sorry, remind me. The ballista is outside on the.
Correct. And so if you think about it like the quote-unquote tracks that the beetles go down, about 50 feet
like a
off and to the left,
watchtower or
there is, it's on a hill. There is this ballista that's been put up at the very top, and it's designed to swivel around and be able to shoot at the sky. And then on the other side of the tracks, that's where the station is off across the platform.
Okay, so Alina's gonna be like, hold that thought, and she's gonna walk out and like stick her head out the door or the window or whatever and follow the gaze of the dwarves.
Okay.
I do the same.
Okay.
Following him.
Or we could go stare at the sky. It's fine.
I think there might be something in the sky, Billy. I'm just checking.
So you kind of stick your head out. You look. Valis, you
Is
look.
it the deer?
And as you look,
What do we see?
because it is 8:30, we're going to step away for a quick break. But when we do, we will get right back and we'll find out what exactly you see with the 22. And actually, make a perception check really quick, Valis.
14.
14. With the 22, we'll see what you see. We'll be back in just a little bit. There will be a countdown timer on your screen. Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Adventures in All Brawn Courts of Everest. We're all here. There's just a slight delay on one of our cameras, but we're all here.
It's weird how they don't sync up right away, but then they get real synced up.
I know, yeah. I just got to
really
to
fast.
catch up. So,
No
Alina,
one is ordering food.
as you are looking out... What?
Nothing.
As you are looking out from... This is a decision that we just made. There is a ballista crew that is kind of looking up, and you're going to follow their gaze. Matt, for your drawing, would a visual perspective be helpful?
You mean better than this?
It's not better. But give me a second. Let me pull something out.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Ah, good
You
thing
need
I
giant
am...
acorns for your map? Found a map?
I brought some.
Good thing I am away from combat and having
Oh boy.
drinks and pleasantries.
Oh, it's gonna be so
had
big.
to-
He had to move the curtain.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I was just even gonna.
Look at it.
Sad.
Just gonna get this out of the way preemptively.
Got this side.
And those angel statues are standing. They just fell because I didn't have the stuff on them.
Okay.
Stickies. Alright, this side.
Clear. I think we're okay here.
Look at this little guy.
Well,
Oh yeah, that turtle guy is still inside. That's your
that the
bartender.
bartender?
Yeah.
Okay, let it down, y'all.
I'm barely.
I meant that side.
And so, at the moment, the train ends right about where the flowers are on the left-hand side there. And so, you guys are probably all
I'm so
right at
sorry.
the edge of this map
Is
right
this
here.
the train track?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not tracks, it really is stone, but that is where the kind of train goes along. The track itself does start once it leaves the mountaintop. But yeah.
And is it more like traditional rails? I mean,
Sort of. It's
I'm in the bar.
yes, the bar has rails both below for your feet and underneath the bar proper for goods. But for this one, it is less rail and more like, do you remember as a child the Hot Wheels like tracks that you got?
Fuck yeah, I do.
It's kind of built like that. It's like more of a groove that allows the wheels to slide
last
along in a
weekend?
single lane. But yeah, that is kind of what the structure itself looks like. And Alina, you're looking forward and you can see they are pointed just like that, straight up and to the right. And following their gaze with the 22, it's almost impossible to see. But up against the sun, you see a tiny black speck that, from that distance, could not at all be tiny. And it's circling around, and you watch as the ballista seems to track it. It's not doing a great job of tracking it, so they're having trouble seeing it, but they're watching it. They haven't said anything. People are still out on this platform, but the dwarves that you see are all a little bit more on edge.
Is it the antlers? Do you see the antlers?
It's not antlers.
Am I in there?
Yeah. And so also that building is just the front.
And then
The
it goes-
stones are like the mountain part, and it just goes in and in and in into the rocks. But you are in that structure and then a little bit off to the left.
Okay.
There's a something really big flying. It might be the bird that is the biggest bird and then bigger than that bird.
It's just an optical illusion. It seems farther away. Can we get to productive things?
Okay. Let's just keep one eye. Or I look again. Has it gotten any closer? Is it a slightly bigger speck now?
It is.
Okay. I think we might be visited by a giant bird. It's getting closer, Billy.
We'll just hang here for a while.
rocks eat most things.
Yeah.
Bugs.
And we are a platform of people
Yep.
and bugs.
Yep.
Big bugs.
And-
Big tasty bugs.
The temporary nest wasn't terribly far from where we are now, as far as like the scale of rock
No, you
flight.
passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
It's getting a lot bigger.
Okay.
I'll look
okay.
around to see if there's any other like
Okay.
birds.
Make a perception check.
And the reason why I'm looking is just like, you know, usually animals can
Yeah.
They sense more.
things that we may not be of 17.
Okay. No. Not a single bird.
Oh, sorry.
And that is probably not good.
That was what I was looking for.
Such a positive way of saying it.
Yes.
I think we should.
Yeah.
You are here. Sorry, I know you
Oh,
might have
yeah.
fallen
No,
asleep
it's a
because-
little warm in the seats with the
Yeah,
sun
yeah,
and
that's
everything.
okay.
It's just kinda
Go
nice.
get
It's like
Ori
hell.
right now. Go get Ori.
Oh,
He's in
okay.
the bar somewhere.
Flaps out, and away down through the door and begins to make his way forward. You could hear, oh, there's a whole bunch of bozos out here on the tracks. Idiots. All right, I'm going to go get Ori and going inside.
Maybe we should get
So
under
where
the
am
seats.
I right now? So like I'm like.
So if
here.
you are all poking your heads kind of out, you guys are a little bit further back. So probably about even with these dwarves who are on the beginnings of that trail going back to the mine.
Maybe we should place ourselves.
Do these
Yeah.
just look like
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you
passengers?
guys are probably up there. Yeah, those are just people who are waiting for the train. You can see they have belongings that are kind of stacked out. And the dwarves who actually man the train proper, the crew, are beginning to transfer some of these things onto the train itself.
Just kind of stick them.
The ones who are armed, which are the ones that you can see on the map, those are the ones that seem a little bit more on guard. Are they Velcro?
Yeah, they
Oh,
have
that's
little Velcro on
Oh
them,
my god.
so you can kind of stick them places. I think it's because the gloves that come with it give you no fingers, so you can hold on to it easier.
Just put me on top, I'll be fine.
Would you like an acorn?
Finn is around somewhere. Cheshire is
Chester's just chilling on the Arcana class car still, sipping on free drinks because that's probably something that they get included with their ticket.
And this
purchase.
ballista at this point has taken a full rotation around, is now lined up to where they were before. And I would say almost all of you now, if you're looking and Alina is directing your attention, you could see this creature. It is huge.
And it's getting bigger.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And it's circling, but it's getting closer and closer. And at its scale, it's easy to kind of mistake how far away it is at first, but it's still quite far. At first, you think it's about to land, but it's still a ways off. And as it gets closer and closer and closer, this is a massive creature. And very soon, there is a shout from up on the ballista, and people begin to run for cover. Is there anything in this brief moment that you are all doing before this creature arrives?
Alina's gonna be like, well, I guess we'll get to be productive after all. And then congratulate herself
it looks
for
like-
such a dumb line.
If this looks like there's just passengers about like not like in the open, I'm gonna try to get people to go into
Okay,
the building.
move yourself over to the people. Make a persuasion check. What are you saying to these people?
Get the fuck out!
The guards look like they're on edge. I think there's a predator bird coming. You should go hide in the building for now until it's safe.
Okay, make a persuasion check. That's a cool dice.
Free
21.
candy inside.
21. You can see people begin to look around. And as the guards begin to shout, they nod and they begin to move. And I will say, go ahead and pull all those people right off there. You can move the board with
Nice
the hammer.
job.
We did it.
21's real high. It's not hard to tell people not to die.
Hey, you should probably go.
All those people.
Are these guards?
Yeah.
Those are minors, but they'll stay there because they are not getting the same warning that is being given over there.
And
Hey, you guys over there!
all these belongs to guards.
Correct. All three of those are guards.
Billy's laying down a blur and then a mirror image.
Okay.
Nice.
You become blurry, and then there are Billies, plural.
Alina will activate her flight capability and exit the train and maybe just stand on top of the train right now
Okay. So you
for
fly up
maximum
and onto the train.
coolness.
No problem.
Is there a standee?
Get this one because I think it'll be it.
I would like to. All right, I want to do one more thing.
Sure.
You just gotta.
There's the guard now. Now it's just the guards, right? And I would like to say to one of the guards, "Hey, we're a band of adventurers. If we help with this problem and help fight it, could I get one of those commemorative badges? I really wanted one. Didn't have any money, but if we help, can I get one?"
With that persuasion check, you can see the two that are closest look at each other, and you can see there's a moment of almost unspoken communication. These are people who've worked together for a while, and the one that you talk to turns, nods their head, and says, "If you'll do this, we'll give you the commemorative badge and whatever you want.
One for each of us.
Wrap it up!" And they all, the three of them, go back inside the station, so you can pull the three dwarves off.
Wait, I was gonna help, not like do their job for. Oh my god.
Thank you! And they make their way in. Ori, right as Rez appears next to you, you can see the halfling starts. The turtle, for what it's worth, doesn't seem especially surprised, but they do raise an eyebrow fold, and Rez just goes, "Ori, for some reason they want me to bring you over. There's something going on out there." And right at that point, there is the of huge wings. Let me go ahead and grab a miniature. Well,
I think it's going to be a maxiature.
Guys, I'm just
A
finishing up
macroture.
a drink with
A
guest
macro-microture?
here, Gail. So
Alina's like, Rez, you in there yet? Are you?
I hope that it's not.
Oh my,
Oh my
God.
shit!
Oh my god.
I'm sure it's something that they can handle without me. They've made
is
it
the-
thus far.
Is that an
And Alina
massive
is
or
like,
is that actually the
Rez?
rock miniature?
and this creature
Giant bird.
And this creature gets closer and closer, and it is massive. And when I said 120 feet is a wingspan, if anything, that is undershooting the total amount.
This is so
It
cool!
is huge. And as it swoops in and kind of slows down, the dwarves are into safety. Valis, you turn around and you can see it is just the Wandering Hearts plus Finn, this group of ballista fighters, and this huge bird. And everybody can go ahead and roll for initiative.
Miner's gone.
No, miners are still there. They didn't get the warning.
I'm just still appreciating
Oh, I
the
see. In
giant
initiative,
mini.
though, run away.
That is
Yes.
such a cool mini.
You're gonna be 0.
And you'll see it online more, better good.
Also, shout out to Emily who built it for me because I didn't have the time to do it, and I painted it, but Emily put it together. And it's not so. Reaper makes great miniatures. The wings are so heavy on this miniature because that's resin.
Yeah.
It's really hard to glue together, so be careful holding the wings for sure.
Okay.
But
This tracks.
no, it's real heavy.
My
So if you pick it up with a base because it's a substantial thing.
That initiative tracks.
I'm sorry.
All right, anybody natural 20?
The least enthusiastic smile.
Anybody natural 20? Alrighty. Anybody 20? Anybody 30 to 25?
I paid for this 5 gold
What'd you say?
bottle. I'm
30 to
gonna
25?
finish
Yeah.
it, goddammit.
25 to 20? Ooh.
Joe, who do you think we are?
20 to 15.
18 for
19.
Alina.
19 for Billy. 18 for Alina.
And 15 for Rez.
15 for Rez. Anybody 15 to 10? 10 to 5?
7.
Also 7.
I'm guessing Ori before. Ooh.
Oh!
Like lightning is
Me over here. Whoa, slow down, Valis.
That was Rez.
Finn is actually.
Rez
gonna
is
be-
overboard.
Oh, where'd he go?
He's somewhere down.
So the way that this works
late.
out, the Rock is going to go first, followed by Finn, followed by Billy, and then Alina, and then Rez, then Valis, then Ori, then Minka, and then everybody else, guards and civilians, will be moving on Initiative Order 0. So that brings us to the Rock. What was that?
It was rock on.
Fair enough. The Rock is, and for what it's worth, this creature is fine. It will not.
Do
work on
we
a flight
smell
stand.
what the rock is cooking?
This creature will not work on a flight stand. It is too heavy and too large, but it is flying.
Okay.
This creature is going to
This won't
rush
work.
forwards. Minka is not a bright blue creature at this moment, and so I'm thinking the one that stands out the most is the one who is flying.
Hello.
Small bird must
How
die.
high up are you right now?
I'm standing on top of the train, so however tall that is.
Probably about 16 feet off the ground. Well, no, probably only about 12 feet off the ground. But this creature, with a single burst of the wings, carries itself across the train, just zooms down, and getting just over top. Alina, you watch as the talons spread wide and it attempts to grasp you.
Oh.
Does a 29 hit.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make a strength saving throw, please.
Woof.
Is this against a magical effect?
It is not.
Magical claw.
Okay, 17.
A
do not want that.
That is a failure,
It's
unfortunately.
even worse.
So, Alina, as these claws grasp around you, it is not just picking you up, it grabs to try to crush at the same time. And so you are taking. You are taking 25 points of slashing damage from this attack, and you are grappled as it you are restrained as it holds you in these talons. You would imagine it probably can't slash at somebody with them, but you are lifted up. And if this creature is starting right here, it is going to end swooping up, and actually, just for sake of ease, is now lifting up and over these mountains.
Uh-oh.
With Alina?
It's got me. Oh no.
45 feet up in the air.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like it's about to bank over here.
Oh shit, son.
And Elena, you feel the talons beginning to loosen, but not quite yet. You'd imagine it will get higher before it does that.
Oh, it's gonna do a. What's that bird?
That is all that
the
it
one
is
that
going
drops
to do.
the turtles?
Golden eagle. That is all that it is going to do. That brings us to
golden
Finn.
eagle.
So Finn down here watches as this huge bird comes and just takes Alina from the train and vanishes. And you can see he draws his sword, but holding this short sword that you gave all of him, he goes to like start throwing it and then just shakes his head. There's nothing that he can do, but he's going to look around and begin to run towards this ballista. 30, and then it's going to start right there. And you can hear him shouting up at the dwarves. But that is what he will do. That brings us to Billy. Alina, you are on deck. Billy, this creature takes your friend.
Ah!
Mechanically, does that count as a siege weapon?
Yes.
Shit. Billy doesn't know what to do.
You can just see like Alina's red hair through the wind, and this creature is about to just take off and leave. They just traveled 120 feet across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy just kind of like just stares in awe, then like kind of flashbacks to Alina getting her out of the armor, and readies an action to fire off a couple eldritch blasts at it for when hopefully Alina reappears on the ground safely.
So hoping that Alina is going to read your mind and do exactly what you hope, you hold that action. That brings us to Alina.
How dare you imply that I wasn't already ramping up Thunderstep, Joseph? Thunderstep.
And so you close your eyes and feeling this crush around you, you want to be anywhere but here. What kind of a save is that?
Constitution.
Okay.
DC 18.
That is going to be a 24.
That,
And so the thunderous rattles feathers. One of them
not
like
gonna-
displaces and comes off, crushing stone as it lands. But otherwise, relatively unaffected. And you, being 45 feet off the ground, how far is the distance for Thunderstep?
90 feet.
90
and
feet
I am
easy.
already flying,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna 45 feet. I'm just gonna try to get back to basically where Billy is.
Okay, no problem. So you can get, I believe, 45 to 90. You can get 15 feet, or no, 20 feet diagonal away from Billy.
25 feet.
So like right about where that series of pots is. You're above.
Joe, how particular are you going to be with the trigger for my held action?
Well, I guess you would use it now.
Cool.
Yeah. She doesn't have to be physically touching the ground.
I didn't know how particular you were going to be.
That's way too particular.
Hey, you know, sometimes some people.
That's
How do you-
particular to specifically not be fun, and I don't like that.
I haven't. You said he passed the save, right?
Correct.
So let me just do the damage for the
Yeah.
half damage. That was a good roll. 29 points, or half to 14
Yep.
of thunder damage.
Absolutely. You see there is a ruffle of the feathers, almost like wind going across. Doesn't even almost register to this creature.
I got a 13 and a 19.
A 13 misses, but a 19 hits. As you fire the Eldritch Blast, the first one, you have to curve around, not sure if Alina's actually out of the talon or not, and that misses, but the second one hits.
11 points of damage. Force damage.
You can see it just makes an impact and doesn't even leave a scorch. But Alina is back on the ground. Anything else, Billy?
That's my action.
All
My
right.
held action.
There is a almost deafening crack of thunder that follows a couple seconds behind Alina, but that is your turn, and that brings us to Rez, who is suddenly just like at the bar. There is a crack of thunder. There is a whoof of wind. People are now running inside, and Rez kind of sits there and goes, "All right, or you gotta go, okay? I'll follow you. I
This
think."
is a $5 gold piece bottle of nice rose hip from.
I'll watch it for you. Just go. And he just goes and he defends the drink because he's just has to hold it.
He's following the last command.
Gust
Scott,
of
which was
wind
to
in
up-
the.
Correct.
in
And
the
otherwise,
cave,
he
and I'm
stands and
like,
defends his ground, which is what he's doing.
All right, fine.
So that is Rez's turn. That brings us to Valis.
I'll be right back, Gil. Just
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna move. I was trying to look up Pythagorean theorem and figure out how the distance between being in.
Sure.
But then I realized I have this 60-foot sunbeam. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it looks like he's in range.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's 45 feet up, and so you would just be at the tip of your sunbeam. But yeah.
I'm not using sunbeam.
Oh.
I am using So I'm gonna pull out a bead.
beam.
I'm gonna pull out one of the beads from
Use
the
hyper beam.
necklace, and I'm going to
Must
use
charged the
mental
next
prison.
turn.
Very, very nice. Okay. And what kind of a save is that? Just remind me?
Intelligence saving throw, and the DC is 15.
How smart can a bird be, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a bird.
Birds. Bird brains.
Not super smart. That is going to be a grand total
So good.
of 6.
Nice! Alright,
It is a -4 to
Okay.
its
Woof.
defense. Yeah, not real good.
so the creature is... Oh, I should also... Is it immune to being charmed?
It is not.
Alright, so then on a 6... If it fails, it'll just take 5d10 damage off the bat. So...
Okay.
Ooh,
Those are some solid numbers.
yeah, 33.
Okay.
So 33 psychic damage, and then it an illusion kind of takes over its senses. It sees all black. It sees its limbs now constricted by golden radiant chains, and all the chains and only it can see this. All the chains kind of point upwards, taut, and up. All the chains connect at a huge sword looming above it.
Fantastic. And already with its momentum, the chains are taut, and you can tell on the beginning of its next turn, as soon as it moves, it is going to break those chains, move through the area of effect, and then provoke additional damage. But yeah, already fantastic. And those magical chains wrap around this creature, and for just a second, its momentum is halted. But anything else, Valis?
Let's see. I'm gonna cast. Oh, that is a concentration, so I think I'll just take the dodge action.
Alrighty, you take the dodge action, no problem.
I got a 17 on my do you get the spell slot back roll, just so you know.
Very nice.
Nice.
I don't know if you want me. Do you want me to report it every time it
No,
happens?
you don't have to report
Oh,
it.
okay. Well, I don't know because the last time a thing happened.
Yeah. No. That was for something unrelated to that particular thing. So,
Did I miss something in the chat?
I don't think so. I don't know. Valis, anything else?
That'll be it.
Alrighty. Ori, you stand up from the bar. At the moment, you are, until you get to the bottom of these stairs, about 50 feet away.
All right, I'm gonna move
No problem. You
towards
run.
the exit.
If you only move 30 feet, you will get to that door and about 10 feet out.
Okay.
Or not 10 feet out, sorry, 10 feet in from the door. So you can
Okay.
still see out. You cannot see the bird, but you can see Finn kind of like gesturing up at this ballista. You can see Alina suddenly appear. You see Valis.
All right, what's going on? Rez just called me, and it's just what I was.
Everybody. And you can't see what they're pointing at.
Well,
unless you
bonus
move all the
action
way.
dash.
There you go. Bonus action, you dash.
Run.
You get down just to the bottom of the stairs and you turn, and yes, you see this huge creature with chains that suddenly appear and begin to wrap around it, and this sword just operate above it.
I shoot it.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Oh, it can't see or hear anything, and it's restrained, so you
So
have
I have
advantage.
advantage. Nice.
Is it technically it's still flying if it is restrained?
It is. That's why it automatically is going to trigger the effect at the beginning of its next turn.
Hey, all right, that's probably gonna hit because that's a 17 on the die, and like a plus at least 11.
But yeah, that will definitely hit.
And that's a D. I have a question because I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Can you trip flying creatures?
No, so if
Cause
the
them to go prone?
there is a rule for this. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's why, because I know that it's a thing that is like accounted for, but I don't know what that accounting is off the top of my head.
They fall. Yeah, they begin to fall.
Oh, cool.
But the thing to think about there is, I mean, they're going to fall a certain amount. They can recover from that fall.
Yeah.
You know, there are things to think
Yeah,
about. But yeah,
and it's also a strength saving
Yeah,
throw.
but it does
This thing's
something.
fucking massive, so I'm gonna not use that, but I am gonna use I'm gonna expend a charge on the Ruby Crescendo.
okay.
And that is a sneak attack because
Yep, it's an
of
advantage.
the advantage. Those are pretty solid numbers that we got there. So that's 22. Gosh, I really miss having my actual thingy.
Yeah.
31, 8 of which is magical fire, the rest is magical piercing.
Very nice. And then all does the same amount of damage. But no problem. That arrow, the bolt rather, as it traces across, it almost ignites mid-flight, and as it lands, instead of creating like a hole within, it just evaporates into this burning mark that just glows bright across the feathers. Anything else, Ori?
What is the plan for this right now?
And Ori, as you say that, you can see the eyes are looking at you.
Kill it!
That is Ori's turn. That brings us to Minka. Minka, you can see as Ori comes out, he takes a shot, and then this creature sizing him up as it flies by. It is grappled by chains. It looks a little bit like unnerved. Or its eyes are a little wild at this point. But what do you want to do?
This is not good. Okay. This is not the calm journey that I was expecting today.
I just wanted to ride the beetle
So,
You did.
all right, we're going to step outside of the car. So I'm going to head towards like behind those
I
barrels.
cannot help but picture Squirrel Alana with like Wild West music.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like out in the squirrel costume.
Yeah.
But yeah, no problem.
Yep, that's great.
Minka's
and
wild
then-
shape is just putting on a squirrel costume.
Slightly different day. All right. So the first thing it's going to do is try to cast Guiding Bolt on it 'cause it's 120-foot distance.
You have advantage.
Nice. So regular level 1 Guiding
You
Bolt.
have
I can.
triple advantage because it's restrained, can't see, and it also can't hear your guiding bolt.
And because it can go fuck itself.
Quadruple.
Damn. Okay. So I believe that should hit, considering it is like a 25 to hit.
The tail moves when you go back. I didn't notice it before. That's so funny.
All right.
Now we all notice it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
All right. Oh, those are pretty good numbers. Okay, so that is a total of 18 radiant damage,
Radiant damage.
and now it's glowing.
It is. And this creature now is starting to look a little hurt.
Glowing ring.
And at this point, Minka just feels bad because this is just a displaced creature out trying to figure out where to get its next meal. And so she's just gonna be like, she's just gonna yell, "Try not to kill it. Try to scare it away."
You shout that. Make for a free persuasion check.
That is a grand total of 2.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So that was my my everything.
Okay.
And
that
I'm just-
brings us to initiative order 0. So, over here, you can hear the dwarves go, "I think she said kill it!" And they turn this, and they're going to lower it. You can see they furiously just crank this knob and lower it a little bit, and track across, and they are going to take a shot. And this is at disadvantage. And you watch as, luckily, they are not good shots. This goes wide, but it is basically a shaved down tree that has formed a like 18 to 19 foot long arrow that just
It
disappears
would
into
definitely
one of these mountains.
be at advantage.
It would, because it's glowing.
It's glowing, it's blind, deafened, and restrained.
You watch as this arrow flies true, as a 27
Definite
certainly
advantage.
hits. It goes from a 3 on the dice to a 19. And, yeah, let me get some dice.
We're gonna come across
We
like
had the same thought. We're like,
a baby rock way further into our journeys. a teenage Drak being
We're not
like,
gonna be
"You
able to
killed."
follow that side quest because I fucking killed the owl bear in the cave.
So all of a sudden, you see
Sorry.
as it goes wide and it's beginning to try to strain against, and you can see the chains begin to break, and each one, like each of the links, as they begin to snap, you can see almost begins to like pull at this creature's mind. But in this moment, it is already glowing. It can't see anything. It's perceiving this darkness around it. And then it takes a bolt straight through the wing that almost severs it. And there is a gout of crimson that paints the entire cliffside behind it. And this creature begins to lose altitude almost at once. It does recover, but that is a tremendous amount of damage.
Can I choose? So I heard Minka say that.
You did.
Can I choose to break concentration on my spell when it's not my turn?
You can.
All right. So hearing Minka say that,
I would
break...
say if you want to do that, I would say it would be your reaction to do so.
All right, that's fine.
Okay. So hearing that, you react to what Minka is saying, and you drop your concentration, and at once these chains just shatter into 1,000 points of light. And this creature no longer will be taking 10d10 at the start of its next turn, which is probably good. It's not looking the best right now. It's still okay, but it's not great.
I, Alana, feel bad for this poor creature.
It eats
so Minka
people.
feels doubly bad.
But that is those dwarves' turns. The other ones have gone inside at Valus's behest. The ones who are here on this mine trail are going to make a
Like, I wish I didn't come into work today. Hi ho, hi ho.
He's going to run for the house, and the other two are going to make a much smarter decision.
I'm fucking off and going home.
They're actually going back to work. The other guy is going to try to make it home. But that
Lunch
is
break's
all
over.
of these dwarves inside this bar. For you, Alina, from Rez's standpoint, you can see he's just going to go, I mean, it's just a little bit. And he goes, and you can see this long tongue just goes out and it drips some like saliva into this beer. But he just takes a big lap from Ori's glass. Oh, yeah, no, that's pretty good. Nobody touch this. That is everybody. And that brings us to the top of the round and to this rock. With this spell broken, it is no longer restrained and it flies free. It is a lot more hurt than it was expecting to be at this point. Yeah. You're on the ground still, Alina?
No, I'm where I am. I'm a little
20-ish
further up, you
feet.
said.
It's going to go right back around for you, Alina, as it takes
Hey.
a swoop.
Not by the wing!
A swoop.
Okay, got it. Okay. And it is going to eventually end here and attempt to make a grapple against you. It is 60 feet up in the air at the very end as it swoops down and then up.
It's a really cool mini. I'm gonna take a picture for
I'm
all
a big fan of
y'all.
this mini.
On the Instagrams.
Alina does a, pardon me, does a 25 hit. Okay.
Are you sure?
You never know. That is going to be a grand total of 27 points of slashing damage. And can you make a strength saving throw, please?
14.
It grabs you and almost crushes you in these talons and
Ow.
straight up. And it begins to move almost vertically to get to about 60 feet off the ground. And it seems to be just going straight up and will continue to do so at least for the next turn.
This is why we kill things.
That is the entire creature's turn. It can only take one attack when it grapples. And so that brings us to Finn. Finn
Or just color. Okay.
climb up this. He
Never-ending story.
is going to wheel this around and he is going to take another shot at this rock. This will be at disadvantage because he is not proficient in this. And you watch as he just fires far off and into the cliffs, firing way before he can even get it around, not really comfortable with such a large weapon. But it begins to reload with the dwarves' help. That is all that Finn can do, and that brings us to Billy.
120 feet?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're within 120 feet. You're probably about 90 feet
60
away.
feet up, right?
Yeah.
Alina, I'm sorry!
That's okay. Do what you gotta do.
That's two 21s.
Both of those hit.
Sweet.
Maybe Billy will find
Pew pew.
Oh, this will be quite
All of
a
you
kill.
shut up. So the first one is 7 points of force damage.
Okay.
The second one is 13 points of force damage.
All right. And that one is a little bit better. Billy,
Shocking.
as you fire the second blast, it is absolutely taking damage with each of these, the full amount that you would expect. Is there anything else that you want to do?
Can't do anything else. It's too far away.
You can see they impact against the tail feathers, but almost, really, this is out of your range. That is your turn, Billy, and that brings us to Alina. Alina, at the moment, you are grappled. You are restrained, very technically. Is there anything that you want to do?
Yes. There is a thing I would like to do.
Sure.
All right. Well, hold on. Let me. Fuck this bird. Fuck it a lot. I am going to Misty Step out of its grasp
Okay.
and my flight is still activated, so I'm just going to be 30 feet away from it, and then I'm going to use the waistcoat of the Nightmare Rider to cast harm at it.
Oh, very nice. Cool.
So that is a con saving throw, DC 18, please.
Unfortunately, I think that's going to do it. 28. Yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
Wait.
So
What's the range?
I'm looking. I can't find it. Where'd it go? Oh, that's my second level spells. It's 60 feet.
It's not quite.
Fuck.
Sorry.
But that's okay. Still gonna take half damage.
And it's a lot.
Yeah, 14d6.
Causes the screen to stutter.
It really does. Okay, so the full damage roll is 61 points of damage, so that's going to be 30 points of harm damage, necrotic.
Absolutely. And that, as you see this creature grab onto you again, you use Misty Step, and as it lifts up into the ground, you just become mist for just a moment and then reappear exactly where you were, and it loses its grasp. It sails beyond, and as you do, you feel behind you the surge of adrenaline that you felt when you heard the Wild Hunt. And you can feel these buttons almost begin to vibrate and hum, and you can feel it almost in tune with those same beats. And all at once, there is an explosion of power, and your vision goes almost dark. You almost can't see for the power that is flowing through you, but for just a moment, you can smell loam and wet leaves, and it is a totally different experience, but the damage that washes over this creature is immense. And as it ends, you can see the feathers falling away, the skin is blackened and charred. There are bits of damage to this creature that don't even really make sense. You can see bone on the outside of skin in places, and many of its feathers are just gone. But this creature is still up.
Which is good because harm cannot drop something below 1 hit point. And then Alina's just gonna. All her friends are down there. So she's gonna stay. I have a move action, and I'm gonna use it to go 30 feet away in a direction that is. I'm gonna
Dive bomb into the ground.
I'm gonna stay like on level because I don't want to draw it back down to where everybody else is.
Okay, about 60 feet off the ground as this creature is beginning to pull away from you. That is where you end your turn. That brings us to Rez. Rez on the inside is just like, everybody stay away, everybody stay away!
What to do?
Alina, what do you want me to do here, all right?
Sorry, I forgot.
It's Rez's turn. That brings us to Valis. Or you're on deck.
He's lost in the sauce.
I am going to cast Speak with Animal, and I'm gonna shout up at the sky. Essentially that. Do I know what this creature is?
You've heard, I think Minka mentioned that this is a rock, and Alina as well.
Alright, so I'm gonna yell, Rock, you will find no quarry here. Leave this place with your life.
Okay. Where are you right now? You're right.
Oh, yeah, and I guess I'll move as much as I can, and then yell at the sky.
Did that piece of kibble talk?
You can see almost like tripping over rocks as they're trying to run for the station. This dwarf turns to you and goes, "It's a monstrosity, you idiot!" He's like end over end, but you get the sense that this is probably not a beast.
Speak with
Ah.
animals, not speak with monstrosities.
Oh, man. Alright.
Easy mistake.
Really good
try.
idea, though. Really,
In
really
that
good
case. In that case.
I wish that worked.
In that case, that's my turn.
idea. You end your turn. That does not activate any trap cards, luckily, but it does bring us to Ori. Ori, what would you like to do? You are
I
here.
activate my trap. I think I'm still within range, right? It's 60 feet up.
What is your range?
For the crossbow, I think max range before disadvantage is like 300 something.
Then yeah, you're fine.
I have to check though. Gotta stay honest. Yeah, the max range is 320 before, but max range is 80. So I think I'm out of range.
Yeah, so it would be a
A
disadvantage.
disadvantage. So I'm going to bonus action steady aim.
Okay.
To get base. Wait, no. I'm gonna insight. Sorry. Bonus action insightful fighting.
Okay.
To get my
Sneak attack.
Yeah,
There
sneak
you go,
attack. So
yes.
it's deception.
You can't get advantage, but you can get sneak attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not advantage to get base
Yeah.
regular, but yeah,
That's not.
it's gotta be
1.
cool.
Not natural.
Yeah, yeah.
A dirty one.
And then I'm
So charismatic, this
going to
monstrosity.
attack it with a normal disadvantage shot, right?
Correct.
Actually, if I use my move action, I think could I get within range?
Range of what?
I don't think so, because it's 60
5.
feet up,
Should
so you
not
would
have
need to
to
be
have
20 feet.
disadvantage.
Like,
Oh, I'd have to
So
be like 20
disadvantage
feet under
range.
it. Yeah.
Sorry, it's 8320.
Ah! Poo.
Aw.
It was a 4 and a natural 20.
Oh.
So total's gonna be 16.
that's a hit.
Oh, nice. All right. Hey,
Damn.
take those.
This is a huge creature. It has no armor. It's just feathers and flesh, and a lot
Shooting
of the
at the
feathers
side
are
of a
gone.
bar.
It is a
Yeah.
sneak attack. It does have 1 charge. I'm going to expend another charge,
Very nice.
and I'm going to make it a menacing attack if it survives.
Okay.
Ooh.
Menace the
Try
bird.
and frighten it away.
That was a
Well,
wisdom
The
save.
idea of Ori
Yes.
being menacing.
Hey!
You get out of here.
hey, go on now, get.
Pretty good. 15.
15. I believe it fails that DC check. I really hate this app.
It's tough to do on a phone.
DC 17, so it's a failure.
There
It
you
is
go.
frightened of me and must leave my area until the end of my next turn. But it's also about to take a bunch of damage, so it might not have a next turn.
Oh my god, please.
Third time's the charm, baby. Alright. 35 points of damage, 5 magical fire, the rest magical piercing.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm gonna action surge and run it back.
There you go. Make your attack roll. That first one sinks into it, and it shreds into the bottom of its foot. And you can see almost like dead where these talons connect. It goes straight into what would be like the Achilles heel of a human. And you would imagine this creature not walking anytime soon, but it's still up. I can't decipher that face. It looks like a hamburger.
That disadvantage really blew it. Is a natural one.
That, unfortunately, is going to be a miss. And I don't even really know what that means. But like, you know,
It was so true.
you turn and you fire. Luckily, with this creature... actually... Alina, can you make a dexterity saving throw?
Okay. Is this against a magical effect?
Well,
It's decidedly
don't worry.
not.
Or you can go ahead and roll damage.
kill me, I swear to God.
Does it count as a sneak attack?
No, you already used your
You
sneak
sneak
attack.
attack.
You
Thank
can only
God.
use it once a turn, which is really unfortunate. But
I'm gonna make it a menacing attack. Hey, that's not too bad actually. It could have been much worse.
I've already gotten grabbed twice by a giant bird.
All right, so I'm gonna add a menacing attack then. No, that's
Please.
it's only 10. Only
Okay.
10 piercing.
that's not bad at all.
No.
Alina's like, ah, what
It
the
could have been much
fuck,
worse.
Ori?
Sorry, it's
Almost just glancing off the side, but you recognize that Ori's shooting at the bird, not you, probably.
It's
Anything
the
else,
wind.
Ori?
The gust of the wind is it blew its.
Anything else,
wing-
Ori?
No, I'm done.
Minka, you shout for people not to kill this bird, and you watch as everybody does the opposite of what you
I
say.
tried to
What would you
scare.
like
Oh,
to
it's
do?
scaring. It's got to fly away now, because it's scared of me.
So Minka's just gonna sigh deeply, and like this time she actually saw the bird swoop at Alina. She didn't see it the first time, and she's like,
Beans.
"Hang in there, Alina!" She's gonna cast a healing word at 3rd level at Alina, for a grand total of
I love getting healed math.
16 points of healing damage because you are too far for me to do much else.
That's okay, bitch.
You are shot first by Ori
so
with an
good.
arrow, and then by a much more healing version of an arrow from Minka.
And then that was my bonus action. So for my action, I'm going to. I was going to do something, and I realized that is another bonus action because action economy makes perfect sense.
You could use an action. You can use a bonus action as an action.
I don't believe so.
You can.
Yeah, you can't. There's a whole thing about it. You can sorcerer and do that sort of to an extent.
Yeah. There's like
Not
certain.
the same as using a priest as a worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead, I will hold. No, because then that uses it if no one gets near me. No one's gonna get near me. Okay, cool. Guide bolt.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Just a little. So
Watch out, Alina's there.
I swear to fucking God. All right, a 17.
17 hits. Not Alina.
Aiming slightly better than usual today. And it does a grand total of my heart is not in it. 12 points of guiding bolt damage. Now it's glowing again.
Minka, it's not. Tell us how it happened.
Oh, the one who told us to spare
As soon as you said, my heart's not in it, I'm like, then don't say 7.
So Minka, with a heavy heart, raises her hand and, like, internally wishes for it to miss. But she sees it strikes true, and then sees it start to go limp and fall, and then she just sits down on the ground and just my mom's gonna kill me.
And as you sit in the distance, there is a thundering as this creature just crashes into the hillside and tumbles down off the cliff.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And you are all out of combat.
I go over to Minka and I try to console her and say that, for what it's worth, I tried to speak with it, and that was no beast, no creature. It was a monstrosity.
It's
And not
still,
of.
Still
it got displaced. It's normally not supposed to be around here. I saw a temporary nest for it. That means wherever it usually lives, it's got over here now. Something.
Slowly, people begin to peek their way out of this station, including the miner that was there. You don't see the halfling, who seems to have stayed within the safety of these confines, but aside from that, people are kind of beginning to look out. Finn is climbing down from the platform. What are you all doing?
Is the corpse anywhere within, did it land on a mountainside? Is it anywhere close
You
to
saw
where we
it
are?
spiral and then
Yeah.
disappear. If you go across the tracks and you kind of run over to where you can see down a little bit, you see broken trees and freshly cracked rocks, and you don't see the remains of the bird anywhere. It's somewhere down the mountain.
Alina's gonna come down and land next to Minka. And
You watch as
like,
Minka's like walking over, and you can see like the bird's still tumbling and falling down the mountain, and like Minka's looking for it, but like it's sliding into the trees now.
I'm sorry.
And
about
Alina's
that,
just
Minka.
gonna be like, "You saved me, and you saved all those people. You had no choice."
I'm just gonna hold up a hand and touch Alina at a 4th level cast Cure Wounds.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's. I wasn't fishing for that. Just
I know,
okay.
but she's just Minka's aware, but it's just like,
This, I just hate how many things we have to kill.
Finn comes walking over and says, "You killed the shit out of that thing. That was great."
Okay, maybe go walk away now, Finn.
The
Goodbye.
strains of Minka the Malicious are like floating on the air.
I just thought I could hit it because this thing is basically a cannon, but I missed, and you got it.
Finn,
Yeah.
you wanna? There's a few people in there that you might wanna, take a look around.
if it's any consolation,
Sure.
I heal
Yeah.
the
No, I love
shit out
looking
of
at
you.
I'm gonna go in with Finn and start finding the guards. Like talk
yeah.
to the one who I spoke to.
Okay.
And made the deal with.
Sure.
I'm gonna follow after the
34.
two of them, but I want to just like.
Billy's gonna get back on the train.
35.
You get back on the train.
Almost
No,
back.
39. Because I front plus
I'm
5.
gonna go back to
39.
look
34
for
on the
Gil.
dice. Plus 5.
Okay. So, Ori, Valis, Finn, you are all heading into the station. Anybody else going with them?
I'll follow in.
Okay. Elena, you go too.
Is Minka just being left alone now? I'd feel bad if everyone
I'll
was-
I'll go in and just kind of like. Want something to eat? Let's go
Yeah.
get something to eat.
I'll go in. They won't kick us off the train now, right?
No, I think we earned our keep.
She's still like visibly crying.
Yeah. Let's go get something to eat. Everything's gonna be okay.
You bring Minka in. Yeah. When you enter, Ori, your glass is empty. And you can see Rez is just like plopped up on the counter right next to it, just looking around. And you can see like there is one of the dwarves who ran in past Valis, who goes to sit in your seat. And Rez just goes, "Hey, not this seat, all right? I'm guarding it for somebody, and they're coming back real soon."
Yeah, you did a real great job.
Hey, it's this guy. All right, good. Invisible. Alina,
That was
right next to you.
gold
All right.
bottle.
Really, I think I probably would have been better out in the battle, but I'm here for the team.
Yeah, sorry.
Was it good?
I got grabbed by that bird so many times. I just anyway, hold on. And she's gonna rummage in her pockets. But all she has is 2 gold, but she sheepishly hands it over to Ori and is like, "I'm sorry about him. Good job in the battle."
Keep it. You'll need it at some point, I'm
Okay.
sure.
Oh, and also, here, I think this is yours. So I think we're probably all squared up now, right?
Close enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Any sign of Gil?
Has anyone
Is
hit
he
Valis yet?
still sitting at the bar, or is he like gone?
So you look across, and Gil is face first on the bar, and you have plied him with quite a bit of drink, and he failed all 3 of his checks, and is just unconscious on the bar. Still very much alive. You can hear snoring, and there is a little bit of drool that is starting to make its way across the counter. You can see the turtle is just kind of like looking across all of you, and again looks a little bit confused.
I'm gonna turn to Alina and be like, he's supposed to be heading to Darkbriar. You want to help me get him on the train? I have his book. There's lots of tasty information in here, most likely.
We should probably help him get back on the train then, so that when he wakes up, he can have his book in his pocket again.
Certainly.
From over your shoulder, you can hear one of the dwarves, Valis, say, "Astamir!" And you can see this turtle who's looking at Minka kind of turn over and just go, "Yeah." And the dwarf says, "This is the one that helped us out. You can pay him and give him one of the tokens as well." And this turtle just looks at you and goes, "All right. You collecting them or something?"
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check.
That's adorable.
Take the whole set.
Is Valis within 30 feet of me?
Yes.
It's an ability check, right?
Yeah.
I use my action to add 1 to it.
14, which is a 15.
Yay!
That's really important.
Every little bit counts.
You get that token.
He kind of looks at you and goes,
I really wanted one of those tokens earlier, but we just couldn't afford it. But hey, we just help with the rock problem.
they're a ripoff. And he reaches under the counter and pulls out a little box that has 5 of these tokens in it and just throws it across to you. And he just says, bunch of thieves. Don't tell them you got it from me. Mm-hmm. He also pulls out a little pouch that has 20 gold pieces in it.
Hey.
And he passes it over to you.
Nice.
Thank you. Appreciate all the help we can get around here. The dwarves, they're only after their own interests. Can I get you all anything?
Well, we're
We're in the bar.
Can we?
well, no, but I thought you and I were.
Oh yeah, we're shuffling.
Or is that just the plan?
Yeah, I didn't have anything else at the bar. I would have thanked the bartender.
Sure.
Just like a polite nod because we haven't actually said anything besides give me the alcohol and here's the money for the alcohol.
I'll get a bottle of whatever he's having, and I just take it out of the gold that he gave.
Sure.
It was 5 gold.
He nods and he takes it. And this is the last of these bottles that is up here, but he gives it to you.
Save some for us.
It's very good from my hometown.
This is for us.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name's Asthamir Crockpaw.
Dallas Birchbillow. I go to shake his hand.
He reaches out and shakes his hand, and as he does, when you touch his hand, there is almost certainly a feeling of magic to it. This is a magic user for sure, but they kind of nod and they go, Birchbillow. That's a good name.
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
Stamir.
What's your deal?
I just didn't want to kill the bird.
What? No, I mean, not a lot of wood elves out here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have family by Darkbriar. I'm just traveling home.
Are you one of the Enclave folk? You know Lot.
Yeah, I do.
You look like her.
You think so?
A little.
Thanks. That means a lot. I didn't think anyone would know about the Enclave out here. You're the second person that said something.
Well, I mean, you guys make your way out here from time to time.
That's true.
Lots of good people.
Oh, thanks. Do you want me to bring a message back at all?
Well, if you're heading that way, are you?
Yeah.
Be careful.
That's her. I've heard. That's why we're heading back. I want to check in.
Crystalline elementals. Terrible business.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not good. As she says that, she's going to be like, crystalline elemental. Have I ever seen one of those? I can understand what the words
Make a
mean
nature check.
together.
Individually, they make sense.
Yeah. Okay, not terrible. Alphabet. A total of 18.
So at first, you're like, yeah, a crystal elemental, like an earth elemental, but crystals. That's cool. But you think about the fact that some crystals do have intrinsic properties. And if this is an elemental crystal that is made of something that is like that, that is infinitely more dangerous. But you've never explicitly heard of or seen these things. But it makes sense that it could exist. An earth elemental that arose in the right place would have those properties.
Wait. Like, are they like the crystals in the mines there?
I would assume so. I don't make my way that far now.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Enclave folk in a while, so it's dangerous up that way.
Oh, no. Oh, we have to get back. Okay. Thank you. We should go. I think he's gonna start heading back towards the train at this point.
Yeah, tell Lot when you're there if the Enclave needs a place for a little while. they could maybe use the barns.
Oh, okay. Well, you know how hard it'll be to pry out mountains. But I'll let them know. Thank you.
Nods.
And then just back to the train.
Sure, no problem. For the two of you, you drag this individual back to the train. Billy, you can see Alina and Ori drag this unconscious halfling out of the bar. You make your way back to the train. Valis, is there anything
He
that you're
was
doing?
like this when I found him, I swear.
I'll head back to the train as well.
I just flashed the notebook. We're
For a rogue, you're not being very stealthy about the fact that you stole this item.
well, because I'm telling you to, and I'm doing that discreetly.
Or just
It's like a
flashed us.
Broadway show. You're just like,
sharing information discreetly.
so, no problem. You all make your way aboard the train. Nobody else gets on board with you. Most people go into what was formerly the Onion car, but no longer with the Onion guy in it. Seems to be a little bit more desirable. You do have a lot of room to spread out. And so as you pull away from the station, we'll have a little bit more privacy for the next leg of this journey. Mm-hmm. You make your way forward. Give me 1 second here.
So, how are you doing, Minka?
Well, so what do you guys know about what they mine out of the Darkbriar mines?
Rocks?
Minerals.
Minerals, closer. So,
Confidence. The confidence with which Ori went, minerals. That got me.
Actually, it's minerals.
Minerals.
Stones?
They're minerals, Marie.
What do they mine?
so, well,
Oh, I heard something about was they explosive or something, right? Some have some sort of weird explosive properties.
the reason why Darkbriar is so heavily guarded is because there's a very specific type of crystal that only is there, and it's very magical, and it's incredibly unique. I don't know a ton about the specifics. I've only found crushed fragments, but if what that turtle said is right, and there are crystalline elementals, I'm worried that if it is regular earth elementals, they tend to take on the properties of the stone that they're from, where they're born. If it was born in the Darkbriar mines, where there's that really highly magical material, I'm worried that they're going to be particularly devastating. And my home is not connected to Darkbriar, but there are segments of it that are connected to the same places.
You brought Gil into the train with you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm sitting. Gil's
keeping an
by
eye
the
He's
window.
drunk and
I'm,
unconscious,
keeping him
loudly
kinda,
snoring. And so you're not especially concerned with him overhearing, but when you start mentioning the properties of rocks, for just a second you can see Gil just Grumbar.
You didn't mention
Right
that.
back to sleep.
Hearing that, I'm gonna leaf through his book to see if there's anything about Grombar specifically, or any of the stuff that we're trying to learn about regarding Darkbriar.
As you begin to pull away and you make your way off the mountain, seeing the forest again open up beneath you, and this is a much shorter journey. This is probably only about an hour and a half to that next station. It is between these two peaks that are twin peaks. I would say, Ori, you probably know there's a whole they're the twins that froze, whatever.
Right, and then there's the Red Room, and
The pot lady.
So,
What?
Twin Peaks.
Oh, I've never seen the show.
Oh,
sorry.
the red
Yeah,
room.
I own a Twin Peaks shirt that I got from Loot Crate, and
is
that's really it.
Log or pot?
The red room.
It's Lori Palmer.
No, but does she carry a
Something I wanna
logger?
do on this leg, if
sure.
possible.
I always get it confused with.
First, I want to open
Yeah.
the box of
Red
tokens.
seed.
Is it just like 5 identical tokens, like one for each of us, or is it like 5 different tokens?
There are 5 tokens, and they're all different. Each one is a different color. They are all these enamel beetle-like coins, and you would guess that these are from each of the stations that are along this journey. You have the set.
Did anyone give us
get the
any
full
trouble when we got back on the train?
No, and you would imagine probably fighting that giant bird had something to do with it.
They killed the giant chicken. Let them on.
I want to spend this like just admiring the tokens, but also pull out the bottle of hip rose and gather them up for us to have a drink together.
No problem.
An hour and a half admiring your 5.
Oh,
You take out the Rosewood Reserve. What I will say is, as you are kind of traversing across this place, you, Ori, looking through the elements of this journal that you can find, Groombar, mentioned almost on the first page. And there is this drawing of what looks like, make a history check.
Room bar?
Nature, Groombar.
Groombar. Do I get my thing?
Grumbar.
Oh, I got it right.
Your thing is specifically
Sounds like there's
for
an umlaut over that U.
Magiocracy related history or Feywild related nature history?
yeah, I'll give it to you.
Hey.
That's generous of you.
Generous of Joe or generous of fate?
Generous of Joe.
Not of fate.
Not so much of fate, because that's an 11.
Okay, with an 11,
I was not good at history class.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure, but this looks like maybe an orc.
Something about an orc.
And they have like crystals growing out of them. You can see underneath that is written the word seethe soil. Underneath is written Darkbriar Miners ? You turn the page, and circled multiple times, very, very dark writing, and so like almost pressured, you see the gnarly one. You see cave-ins ? The next page, you can see a number of little crystals that have small bits of color that have been kind of ground into them, maybe like a pigment. This individual not walking around with like colored pencils, but probably found things that would make color and rubbed it against this. And you can see a green one, a red one, a purple one, a blue one. These seem to be different crystals, and there's nothing written near them, but you can see little blanks. And so maybe they were expecting to come back and do something, but you turn the page. Earth elementals, Duragar, and then you see, you don't read Dwarvish. You see some characters in Dwarvish written next to that, but it's a strange dialect or a strange ruin that you have not seen.
Alice, what does this mean? Here.
You read Dwarvish?
No, I read giant. But
Do you
I
read
probably-
Undercommon?
Oh, I read uncommon.
So this is a dialect of Dwarvish that is also very much kind of crossed with Undercommon, and you recognize almost at once. This is the kind of Dwarvish that Duragar speak, the Grey Dwarves. And it says Exiles of Darkholm. You can see it says on the next page, Formians, ? Darrow, ? Fishmen, ? The next...
When that mention of Exiles of Darkholm, does anything ring a bell when we were talking to those Dorgar within Kiateladar?
Yes. They had mentioned something about Darkholm in passing. You hadn't really inquired further about it, but they had said something about it to each other. And that does stick out to you.
Okay.
But Darrow, Kuatar, or sorry, not Kuatar, that is Fishman, ? Quaggoth, ? And you could read this, and then flipping again, no, but you do come to a picture of a kobold. And Ori, one of them, there's several of them, but one of them only has 2 toes, and that is very distinct to you. Underneath that, you could see scientist, ? And then Bongo Grongo. You turn the page, and you can see there is Bongo Grongo written in one circle. There is the Lord written in another circle. There is The Gray Lady, written in a third circle, and all of them seem to be crossing in various ways, and these seem to be connected in some way, but unsure as to how.
Who is Pepe Sylvia?
Basically, yeah, that's what you're looking at.
Is Gil a conspiracy theorist?
There's... Make an insight
Does
check.
does he work for, like, the Inquirer?
What sort of newspaper is Bird on the Beat?
23.
No, he's not a conspiracy theorist, but these are maybe not necessarily connected thoughts. Right now, he's
fact-finding.
gathering information, and he's not sure what is connected yet, but this is all stuff that is potentially connected. And that's worth bearing in mind.
Yeah.
You turn the page. And this is a word that you maybe have seen before. The Lunare. And you could have almost sworn that you had heard that. But underneath this, there is written a number of names. Give me just 1 second here to pull up something.
I did hear the Lunare. But now I have to go back through all my shitty-ass fucking
Or you could
Ori
ask a
notes.
friend.
Hey, what did, I remember this, the Lunari something. There's a lot of stuff in here. It doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of writing.
Sounds like Lysander. Does
That's
it have to
what,
do with them?
I don't think so, but
This is
it
ringing a
might.
bell, but I do not remember.
Lunari.
What?
Does this kill you every time?
It kills me so much. It hurts so much.
Is it from the foreshot?
The Lunari.
I
I hope it's in my
remember.
notes here, because I'm gonna keep looking through my notes.
What's
as I
the
look
name
through.
of the
Billy doesn't know.
of like the police in the Spire again?
The Lexagi.
Luxagi. No, that's different.
You know, it's like I have to pull up because I put it in
Mixologist,
one place.
Hopewell, Apothecary,
There we go.
Macau.
So,
Sorry.
It's okay.
this list...
Sorry.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm going to give it to you in a second, but this list seems to be a list of ship names. Many of them are in common. You can see a few that are in others, but there is 14 in total.
Oh, this was one of the ships that Finn told me about from the Stark Bites.
Wait, where's the
No.
letter?
Well, Ori, that would make sense because the very first one is written the Javan.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one from the Stark Bites. So this is a list of the ships.
It seems to be. Let me pull up. I'm trying to find my list of all of these ships, but it was from the first chance that you guys had to get it was, I think, session 18.
To get the list of ships.
Yeah.
We are not good at this game.
It's not that you aren't good. It's just it's like this. There's a world that's happening, and so these answers are here for you. But you're not always gonna. They're not always there for you to find. A lot of times they're there for me to just enjoy.
I don't understand why we're looking the significance of the list of ships.
Well, there's something about this list of ships that it's got something to do with the Stark Bites, and the Stark Bites have something to do with whatever is happening here in the Magiocracy. I don't quite understand what, though, which is why it's interesting to me, because I don't
ships-
also know why this reporter would have information about these ships.
For what it's worth, the ships are the Javan, which is draconic, and you can see next to it is written Shark Eater. The next ship is called Timber Tower. The Whaler's Allah, which is written next to it, Whaler's Wife in Dwarvish. The Pursot Gome, which is the Age of Salt in Gnomish. Winta's Peace. The Washrun. The Licklac Baloo. And the Green Apple. And then turning the page over, there are 4 more.
You
Which
gonna
is...
just send that over on the Discord?
Yeah,
'Cause
I'll
my
send them all over to you
fingers
on the
cannot
Discord.
Right.
But the one that really sticks out to you is the Javan.
Yeah.
This is one that you had read in a letter that Billy had showed you not too long ago.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
This is
that
the
piece.
list of ships that Finn was like
Was gonna-
holding out on
yeah,
us for.
For sure.
Any of those ships, the ships that we were on when we were going to
No. That was the cat's
What's
claw.
our
That's cool, yeah.
That was the cat's claw.
Quitra Artria was not the cat's claw.
Oh, I just assumed the.
But no, none of these ships are ones that you have seen or been on.
Those were less ships and more.
Right. This one.
No, the
here.
boat that made the border between, like there was a.
No, that was
boat-
called the...
That was the boat with.
The
I remember the
scum
name being
skipper.
in
The one with the
draconic. Oh, the one with the door to the
Trapdoor
shadow
that-
belt.
It's,
that
so
seems
I
to
call
lead
it the
to
ship
the-
between 3 planes. but it has a name. Give me 1 second here.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I know the name. I think I asked Cheshire for the name.
Yes,
And she did not tell me.
She told you.
She told me something.
I think you thought she told you the truth.
Billy-
Because you rolled badly.
Billy actually read the name and then just said, yeah, Cheshire was telling the truth.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
But Billy remembers that the name was the Witchbane.
This one here was in that thing that you showed the note from the bags.
Oh,
The
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Okay, so that one is the one from the letter.
Right. So
supposed to- okay.
there was already Gil here. There's something about them that he seems to think may be connected to all of this other stuff.
Are you making a copy of the book just in case we need it later?
Mental notes, and I might just keep this.
I don't
Take
think you
a
should
few
keep it. He'll know
pages.
that.
No,
Oh, I mean,
just-
I can write it down.
Oh,
Is it-
Finn at this point kind of looks forward and goes, "Does anybody have like a quill and ink and like some parchment? Because we could.
I do.
I mean,
All right.
I don't like to brag or anything, but I can make a pretty good copy."
I can. Yeah.
I have
That's okay. We can. Yeah, I think
I have this thing
I
called
appreciate
a.
All right.
I'll say to you guys, I have this thing called a forgery kit.
I think. Have you used that before?
That's what I'm talking about. You know, we could use that and make an exact copy of that.
I
Right.
use that.
It's
using
more
this was
just-
how we met.
that's right. I forgot about that.
I like this guy more and more, but I can definitely do this.
Right. All right. So let's go through. I would also. I was hoping, because I don't want to actually keep some of this information that he is privy to open. So I'm just gonna.
No. Oh.
You just tear out the list of ships.
The list of ships and any mention of our group. I'm gonna just kind of like
Okay.
change little
The
details.
very
to keep
last
it
page
kind
that
of
has
like-
anything written is all the information he recorded from you.
Yeah,
And
so
you
I'm
can
not
just take
ripping it
that.
out.
Okay.
I'm doctoring it so that
Make a sleight of hand check.
names are changed and such.
Corey, he
Make a sleight of hand
didn't
check.
know that you did that.
That's not. My name isn't Talus.
You know what? I'm sure that Ori is great at this, just as good as I am.
No, I'm sure he'll do fine, but he got that information like an hour ago.
It's
He's not
fine.
gonna just magically forget.
Have you seen him? He drank 12 gold worth of very nice beer.
You spent 12 gold on that?
It's
Do you have any more?
Okay.
I have some.
even get to
I
drink
like
it
this
because
guy
a certain
a
imp
lot.
took
He
it while I was
over-
killing a
He
rock.
sits
Look,
right
I
next to you.
apologize
Order
about
this
that.
for me? You
Listen,
can
I'm
share
not
this with us.
doubting your
It's fine. It's
skills.
just
What was your
I
check
very
there, Ori?
infrequent 23.
23.
Very infrequently have that amount of gold, let alone to spend on alcohol that I'm using to get information for the group.
I'll make it up to you.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm not. I'm not
You
angry
can see
or
Finn
anything.
watches
I'm
this
just-
whole thing as Ori does, and Ori makes a pretty good copy for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I
so
wasn't
you are
doubting your
making a
skills,
copy.
Ori.
Yeah,
I just...
I was just.
And you can see Finn watches, and Finn like leans over to you, Valis, and he goes, you can tell really easily that the person that wrote this starts in letters at the bottom and goes up, and Ori wants to do it the other way, that's fine. But like, I would.
All right, I appreciate your constructive criticism, but I'm also. It's difficult when I'm trying to argue the fact that I just spent 12 gold on beer that I didn't get to drink.
It's not constructive criticism. You're just doing it wrong.
Well, then why don't you?
Finn,
I
you
would
were...
love to.
No,
Frank.
I don't think that's necessary, Finn.
No.
We
I
liked you
think
better when you were a dog.
That's really
That-
demeaning.
I did not say that. You can try your best. I would appreciate your assistance with this. Even though I know that I am full well and capable, I also recognize that my temper is a little bit up right now because the aforementioned loss of a lot of money for someone who often gets their money stolen by mysterious forces.
You weren't kidding. He did write Dallas. All right. I'm just gonna fix that. He fixes a couple little things there. He kind of pulls the ink down towards the bottom to make it much more heavy towards the bottom and really replicate some of the more intricate parts of this. And he does roll 28. Which, just so you know, he can lowest 25. So he was going to go higher than you no matter what.
Okay.
But why does it matter that it's a perfect copy?
It doesn't really
That's what I don't
matter.
get.
It's more that
If this does come up under scrutiny,
Yeah.
the difference between a 23 and a 28 will matter.
but it's also
Which copy are we
not.
keeping?
I'm giving him
The
back
copy.
his
Okay.
original
Yeah.
copy.
And
We're
we're taking
keeping
That's what I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah.
We're
So
just
it's
taking
really
the information.
Yeah, then it really doesn't
See,
matter.
Finn,
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be perfect.
That's
You're
why
just
I was
showing
just
off.
trying to write, but
I mean, it should be perfect, though. Why would you not do a good
This
job?
is
Does-
fine
It's not something
craftsmanship
to-
for the sake of craftsmanship.
Does
The
it
point is
say
Thank you.
anything
forgeries.
about an enclave in there?
Did it say anything about an enclave?
No.
No. It said something about sea soil, Groombar, and I think it's an orc with. There's a picture of crystals.
An orc?
I
me
think
see
so.
that.
It's the Groombar sounds like an
Let me
orc
see it.
name.
Do I recognize the?
Make a religion check.
There's something about the gnarly one.
No.
Mentions the cave-ins. There's Exiles of Darkholme is what is you said Dorga.
Oh yeah, the Dwargar that we've added to Kaladar mentioned something about
Formikins.
Darkholme.
There's a few crystals in here, but it's like just the
Can I-
the colors.
Can I see the crystals?
It looks like he was going to write in what the crystals were, but it's sort of like an incomplete list. It's sort of like if you looked at
minerals.
someone who is trying to piece together a bunch of pieces but doesn't have the board
Right.
for those pieces.
Right.
And so it's sort of just little piles all over the place right now, I think is what's going on here. But
We can take some time later and
right, because
examine the
we've
forgery
got a
later.
very nice forgery that is going to definitely come in handy if someone asks me where I got this.
We can just.
With the 16,
Thank you.
not really sure. You've heard, the gnarly one sounds like, well, it's a weird name, but it does sound maybe like a god sort of title, and so maybe that kind of tracks.
Gnarly, like gnarled, like a tree, maybe.
Maybe.
Like a tree, you know?
Maybe, but as you look at
Bongo.
this, I mean, there are rocks growing out of this individual, and so maybe not like a tree. And it doesn't really look like an orc. It's some other kind of creature, but you can't quite put your finger on what.
And so
Is the
these-
forgery done?
Yeah.
Alright.
So
So I have the forgery.
And you guys are like maybe 10 minutes out from the next station, but yeah, no problem. He'll give it to you.
Put it
Alright,
back
I'll
in,
put it
put
away.
the original back in his
Right,
pocket,
right,
right?
yeah. It's just so I just want to make sure that I've got everything here. So and there's
want me to, like,
Bongo
you know,
Grongo.
Wake him up and cure him of his.
He'll
poison.
be fine. No. Let him.
He made his choices.
I'll let him.
He
Let
made
him
his choice.
sleep.
Billy?
It's 12 cold worth of sleep there.
Billy's walked away.
Okay.
Billy, wait, don't you want any of this?
Billy's walked away a while ago.
Oh. Okay, maybe
On
later.
the train.
Billy feels
Beetle train.
incredibly unhelpful, unuseful, and frustrated that nothing is going the way she wants it to.
All the way back to the last time that you had a brief chance to face off against hags, finally. You weren't able to kill one. You haven't really been able to do much more than lead your party into danger. And even when your best friend was taken away, though she was able to pull you from the very grips of a suit of armor that had enclosed around you itself, all you could do was throw 2 little Eldritch Blast against his tail. And if it wasn't for Alina's abilities, she'd be gone right now. And that's not a great feeling.
Billy wants to check out the cargo cars.
Okay.
Have you, like, left our car?
Billy's fully walked away.
And it's not hard to tell that Billy walks away because opening the door, there's like wind going by. You can hear like the sound of the wheels just going over the track very quickly and the of these beetles that are behind driving the car. But it quiets as Billy exits and goes into the next car.
Billy? Oh,
Why don't you go check on her?
I will do that.
And we'll
Yes.
finish up here, Finn. What do you make of this Bongo Grongo? Does that mean anything to any of you? Bongo Grongo?
Lena has now walked away as well.
Not to me.
Lunai?
But Alina follows Billy. So the two of you make your way into the next car, which does have a number of crates and barrels that have all been tied to these little metal studs that come off from the wall. in order to keep them from kind of moving around in transit. But there are no people here.
Hey, Billy, wait up. What are you doing?
Bored. Billy like tries to like stick a dagger into one of the barrels and like pry it open.
Okay. You want help?
No.
You pry it open, and it's just loose gravel.
What color's the gravel?
Grayish, as many gravels are.
Hey,
Are
some
these-
gravel's red.
Are
Make a
these
nature
the
check.
barrels that we were told about, or is it just a random barrel?
You'd seen these barrels on the platform waiting to be loaded and on North Sentinel Station. And so they came aboard in the last station.
This gravel's normal as fuck. It's 4.
You know what? You are mostly just trying to distract yourself, and you need to do something with your hands. You jab at this and you pop it open, and there's a shine to it, and you're not sure, but there might be diamond in here, and you don't see any right now. And if Minka was here, she'd probably tell you it's just mica, but Minka's not here, and there might be something in here. And Billy, you know how useful finding a diamond would be?
6 useful.
At least 6 useful.
Begin to just go through the rocks.
Bill, Hey, do you need to talk?
No.
That's rocks.
Minerals.
That's minerals.
Rocks and minerals are not the same. They're two different. Okay.
There might be minerals in here.
Okay.
Does it look like normal, just regular mica to me?
Make a nature check.
Not my
Oh,
forte.
now I see it.
16.
Billy just scatters rocks across the floor, and more beginning to kind of go. And every time that the train hits tracks, they rattle all around, and it's louder and louder. But you're not seeing anything even remotely resembling a diamond. This is just gravel.
Lena's gonna put her hand on Billy's shoulder. Hey, no, it's just gravel. We're almost to the next station.
Of course it is. Kicks the gravel and just kind of looks for another suspicious package, I guess.
Yeah, they're all equally suspicious.
They're all suspicious.
Okay. Do you think that these are the barrels of explosives? This one's just got gravel in it.
Make an investigation check, actually, Billy.
Is it
Kara, I'm so
one?
sorry.
Is it a 1?
No, it's a 5.
It's 5.
At least a 1 would make me feel like I'm dumb. This just feels unlucky.
Billy, there is a suspicious package.
Of course there is.
In the very corner, there is, at first, what looks like a trunk that somebody might use to travel and carry clothing, but something about it is a little bit off. It's not very well secured, but what really stands out about it is that every now and then, independent of the train moving, it just kind of rattles a little.
Hands on it.
Yep.
Unlatch it. Open it up.
Dozens of mice stream out over
what
you
the
around,
fuck?
and you can see a bag is opened up, and it is just probably about 30 mice and rats that just pour out and into the other crates and into
Why?
the balls. One of them goes into the seam between the door and begins to try to get in and gets kind of stuck, but they are everywhere.
Oh
pouring
god, I
out.
hate this. Okay, Billy, do you want to kill some mice? Well, someone's got to. Oh god, they're
it's just
everywhere.
like-
They're in my house.
Are they filling into our
all
car?
around. No, so the doors when they shut, it's almost like soundproof, and so that's a pretty secure seal. There's no way for them to get out, and so right now there's just 30 increasingly desperate mice, Billy and Alina, in this car, and 30 mice on a big train. Not like it's not super crowded, but it's not great,
Mice on a train is not a great scene.
and it's just desperate all around.
Oh god, they're so loud.
Billy just stomps off back to the car.
Billy, they make their dexterity saving throws, and you crush no rats, but you make your way back to the car.
leaving Alina alone in a carriage full of mice.
Alina can handle herself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cheshire's in there. Just you can't see her.
Alina is going to gingerly pick her way through the mice and be like, "Oh God, open the door."
Okay. It takes a little bit, and every now and then it's almost like they're throwing themselves under your hooves.
Oh, God.
But you make your way over without crushing any of them, and you into the next car.
Is seed soil a thing that you have heard of?
Minka, you have heard of seed soil.
Yes.
And I would say you've been a little distracted, and so maybe not paying the most attention, but you probably have heard of Groombar as well, because they are the god of elemental earth. And that is something that the people of your collective at least know about.
Yeah.
Not worshippers necessarily. The other thing about Groombar, they're not a positive deity. They're not negative. They're pretty neutral. But neutral and like the earth and ground tends to be very dogmatic in the way that it is neutral, for what it's worth.
Oh.
Seed soil is Groombar's domain.
Oh.
Like, as in, like a
Like-
different plane?
Make a religion check.
I'm also gonna make her.
Yeah, go for it. And you can make yours at advantage. There are people around you that do know of Groombar. I don't know how much you've talked to them.
5.
Okay.
I don't know nothing.
Religion is not
This
my
must have been part of your memories that have been taken, because
Oh,
this
man.
is just a straight blank.
10.
10. With a 10,
Just having memories.
you know what? It's the elemental god of earth, and so probably it's on the elemental plane of earth.
Okay. All right.
But with a 10, it's tough to tell.
Yeah. Okay. So, Groombar, elemental god of earth. Not great, not bad. Seed soil's where his domain is. I don't think it's this plane. Oh, why would they be related though?
Well,
Do you think it's like that
according to
weird
this, it seems as
undead
if
dragon thing?
Gil suspects that it may be related to what is happening in Darkbriar, in the mines.
Do you think it's another like portal, like the portal of Shadow Fell that we came
Well,
across, and the
Before he
leeching
got
shadow
rip-roaringly
people?
drunk, he had mentioned something about dark creatures coming up from the mines as another possibility. He didn't...
Well, I mean that's not unheard of. It's the Underdark is there.
Right, but the last time that we were in the Underdark, there was a dragon-like creature that we
Lord.
had, yes,
Yeah,
been somewhat made aware of, that I'm
and
fairly certain was in fact a dragon. Still feel very, very strange about leaving that.
well, I'd be more concerned with the other part that we found out of the weird creature that was corrupting things.
Right, but sort of like symptom of the larger problem, but more pressing symptom because of the vacuum of power in that area, given that we killed the hags that were controlling the area that was directly connected to the area that this
Okay, yeah.
dragon probably lives in, now unoccupied
Right.
with powerful
There will always be a problem.
magical conduits.
And there will always be darkness.
Right, but the problems getting closer to areas of interest is not ideal.
And as Ori says that, shadows just cross his entire face because you are pulling into the station proper.
Oh,
And,
I braced!
and you do at just the correct moment.
I
because
put
there
my
is a
arm out for drunken Gil so he
as
doesn't
the momentum
slam
stops,
forward.
Billy, you almost like fly forwards. You're a little grumpy, but you are all able to stop yourselves. For what it's worth, the explosive power of this, not so bad when you're in the train itself,
It's relatively comfortable.
but very quickly it comes to a stop.
Have
feel
we
like I-
arrived back in the carriage with
I
everybody
feel like
else?
I
Yes.
put the book discreetly back on Gil's person as I like keep him, mom seatbelt.
Nice.
from falling forward, and then he's like, oh,
The lamest
We're
version
here.
of the Spider-Man in front of the train before it happens. But you arrive, and
careful,
as you
he's
do,
a hero.
the shadows that cross over you, Ori, are caused by a huge stone archway that the train goes underneath as it pulls into the station. It is 2 huge hammers that cross over each other to form this archway. There is, beyond this, carved into the mountain itself, the peak of the mountain, going 300 feet up to where the peak is over the station, almost like Mount Rushmore, a huge relief of Moradin, this dwarvish god, has been carved into the mountain proper. And that stands over the entrance to the station itself. The station is very small in comparison. You do see next to the station there is a separate structure of stone, and this reads in it's dwarvish. Valis, you can see that this reads. You read dwarvish. Right?
I don't read Dwarvish. I read Undercommon
You see some dwarvish.
and Giant.
What's that mean?
The Giant script is similar though, right?
Not super.
Oh, man.
Giant is closer to like Sylvan, very distantly.
Wait, what was the station name?
This is Geralon Mine Station.
Does that mean Geraldine Mine Station? Probably, right?
I can cast a spell to find out if you want, but it
It's
seems
just-
likely.
it's
It was
just
2 stops, right?
Right, so we are now
We left North Sentinel.
we're 1 stop away from Darkbriar.
Hold on, let me check my
You
tokens.
pull out your little tokens and you look. So you left from the green one.
Like a commemorative.
They were going to give you the blue one and then gave you the whole case. There's 3 more. And with that, you can do whatever information you want.
Wait, what?
There's-
Are they not labeled?
none of them have any labels. They're just different colors. And so it's hard to really tell like which one lines
There's
up
no
with
writing,
which.
they're just different.
Different colors. And so you know the green one is from South Sentinel Station because that's where you got it. You were almost given a blue one, and then he said, no, it's a ripoff and gave you all of them. And so you can imagine the blue one is from North Sentinel Station. There's 3 more. One of them is to Geralon, where you are pulling into. One of them is to Darkbriar, and one of them is to the castle.
Okay.
But you don't know which is which.
Would I have an idea based on my fandom of the Beetle Train?
I don't necessarily think you have a fandom of the Beetle Train. It wasn't written into your backstory anyway. But
My fandom.
Matt's fandom.
then no, certainly not.
Is there anyone around? Us?
Yeah, there's a few people around. You can see a number of dwarves. There is a furbolg who is kind of looked up here. There's actually quite a few dwarves because it looks like a mining group has kind of pulled in recently and are kind of unpacking things into the structure that is opposite.
How long are we here for?
So as you're still pulling in and you don't really know.
I'd like to ask one of the dwarves. Hello, fellow adventurer. Could you tell me what that says and how long we'll be at the stop before the train moves on?
Sure. So you finish pulling into the train stops, the doors open, you get out, and as you do so, the dwarves have mostly moved over to this group of miners. The only person who is standing out on the platform now is an individual who is dressed in very distinctive armor. And you can see all kinds of these vials of amber-colored liquid that are connected to these machinery elements that are connected to what is essentially plate mail armor. But because it is 10:15, before we get into talking about the Amber Sworn, why don't we end here for the evening?
Had to
Thank you for
ask.
joining us for this session of Adventures in Alberon. We'll be back next week, but if you can't wait that long, this session will re-air on Sunday at 4:30 p.m., preceded by our Starfinder game at noon. But please, until next week, stay safe. It is crazy out there. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
I don't normally wear a scroll costume.